And hello again, everybody. I'm Tim Brandon along with Dave Archer. Glad to have you along. This is going to be a fun season. I know this stadium is a buzz. The ACC is a buzz. After what they did in 2013, they want to build on that momentum.
Spectacular season for the ACC a year ago. National champion, Heisman Trophy winner, an Orange Bowl champion. In fact, 11 of the teams in this conference, Tim, went to a bowl game a year ago, garnered almost all of the individual honors from a player, and they're poised for 2014. The preseason #1 team in the country resides right here in the ACC.
Folks, NC State fans are really excited about their new quarterback transfer from Florida, Jacoby Brissett. How is he?
Well, he's a kid that's going to bring all the physical accolades and abilities to the table. He can throw it and he can run it. That's exactly what Dave Doeren wants as a quarterback. But what he also brings, and asked Dave Doeren, what do you like about him the most? He talked about leadership. He talked about work ethic. That's something they've worked on tremendously here in the offseason to bring this team closer together.
You know, we mentioned the 6 national championships for Georgia Southern. New coach, Willie Fritz. There's got to be some changes, huh?
Well, a lot of changes. Tremendous tradition at Georgia Southern. You mentioned the 6 national championships at the FCS level, and they won't be awed by coming to the FBS level. They won at Florida a year ago. But Coach Fritz brings a change in the offense. Kevin Ellison will run a pistol option spread attack that Coach Fritz brings from Sam Houston State. It was the old Hambone offense, named after their great quarterback Tracy Ham back in the day. They make a change. It's a change similar to Barry Switzer switching the Oklahoma Sooners from the wishbone to the I formation.
Now we'll call it the Fritz Bone. The third member of our broadcast team, Rachel Barbeau. She's down on the sidelines. And Rachel, it looks like NC State's got a stable of running backs.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, they're looking for somebody to run the rock. They have not had a 1,000-yard rusher since 2002, and T.A. McClendon, who will step up and answer the call. They have 5th-year senior Tony Creasy. The coaches say this guy is patient. They also have youngster Matt Days. He had a phenomenal start last year, but Coach Doeren told us he had some problems with complacency in terms of training and practice, but he's back on track now. And quite possibly the most talented, Shadrack Thornton. But he's had his share of off-the-field troubles and spent 6 months away from the team. But coaches say he's now grateful and ready to go. And guys, they call him a bull in a china shop.
Rachel, 3-headed monster at the running back position, and maybe some of the inadequacies they had at the running game a year ago, Tim, was because they didn't get good quarterback play. They're expecting that to change this year with Brissett.
Well, Brissett makes his debut here in front of the fans at Carter Finley Stadium, and that's going to be exciting. On the other side, Georgia Southern, well, they'll start with Kevin Ellison, but Fabian Upshaw will also play today. Fabian Upshaw is the quarterback that's got everybody's attention down there at Georgia Southern.
Got a chance to talk to Tracy Ham, the great quarterback that played back there in the 80s. They said that Upshaw can flat fly. Looking forward for that.
ACC football is brought to you in HD by your local Tire Pros dealer. Win tires, wheels, and a trip for 2 to the championship game at the ACC.com/TirePros. Georgia Southern coming in here, taking a step up from the FCS to the FBS. Their eyes are going to be as big as saucers in front of a packed house at Carter Finley. NC State won the toss and elected to defer. So Georgia Southern will have the football first. We'll see that hybrid offense you talked about, Arch. Think about the pistol. You think about Chris Ault out at Nevada. We'll see the pistol, the spread, the option, everything. Mac Breida and Cameron May are deep for Georgia Southern. Nicholas Sadie kicks off, and this is not a long kick. It'll be taken at the 1. This is Breida. Finds a little bit of a crease and bangs it out across the 20 to the 21. A return of 20 yards. Take a look at the starting lineups. It's brought to you by Food Lion. Georgia Southern is quick. We told you it's a hybrid offense. And they've got a lot of talented athletes.
They've got an offensive line that has a senior laden, but not a lot of guys up front that have played a ton on the right side. B.J. Johnson, just 12 receptions a year ago. They plan to up the passing attack a little bit with this spread option attack. They want Ellison to throw the ball somewhere in that 20 range. He averaged about 8 or 10 throws a year ago.
Eagles threw only 79 passes last year for the season. First down, Eagles. The give straight ahead, tough yard. That's Breida. picks up 2. Food Line starting lineups defensively for NC State. This is a defense that will swarm, wants to be aggressive early. Then they want to settle in. Fernandez, the linebacker, is one of the keys, Arch.
Redshirt freshman calling the shots. His backup, Artis Moore, also a freshman. So 2 young guys running the show for the defense.
2nd down and 8, almost 9. High snap, bobbled, and they lose yardage. There's the guy you just talked about, Jared Fernandez.
Well, and you're looking at T.Y. McGill. The strength of this defense is going to be their defensive front. Number 75, T.Y. McGill, is going to fight through the double team and get around Ellison's legs there. And you find a way. Noel and the linebacker Fernandez also flow and get in on the tackle. Excellent job by T.Y. McGill to set the table for that play.
Georgia Southern Eagles must have butterflies the size of eagles. Doesn't matter how much creek water they drink, they're faced with a long 3rd down. They need 8. Try to get to the outside. Nothing happening there. Good job outside by Noel.
Excellent job. We talked to this defensive coordinator, Dave Huxtable, said, hey, whenever you play an option team, you got to stay at home. Look at Noel, number 5, sit outside, wait on the quarterback. They had a little dive option fake there, and he was going to run the football all the way. Noel right in the perfect position, and what a great start to set the tone for NC State.
So Ryan Nowicki comes in to punt it away for Georgia Southern. And Braylon Cherry is standing at his own 30. This is a high punt. Oh, it's a good one. This will chase Cherry all the way back inside the 15. Good block on the corner. Ball's loose. NC State gets it back. But that was a 56-yard punt. Morgan recovered the fumble after a return of 7. Food Line starting lineups offensively for the Wolfpack. And again, everybody's looking at Jacoby Brissett. How about the other guys?
Veteran offensive line up front. Outstanding group there led by Rob Crisp. Crisp is a guy that's had some injuries, but an outstanding player at that left tackle spot. That's the strength of what they feel like this offense is going to be. As you look at Jacoby Brissett, remember 2 starts as a freshman at LSU, at Auburn. He will not be awed by the opportunity.
Tony Creasy gets the started linebacker. Here's a high percentage pass to get Brissett going, but it's dropped. Just a little crossing pattern to David Greenidge.
Yeah, a little throw behind what we talked to Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for NC State. What do you want to do with Jacoby? Hadn't played since November of 2012. He said, I'd like to get him some quick, easy throws. A little bit of nervousness there. The throw behind Greenidge on the tight end throw.
Coming off their first winless ACC season since 1959. Needing some early success. Creasy bangs it out to the 34-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Defensively for Georgia Southern, this is where they may have some problems. Not a lot of depth, and it is a small, undersized defense.
Well, it's a defense that can fly around, though, and it's led by their linebacker, Edwin Jackson. He's a guy that I think has a chance to potentially play at the next level. Not the gigantic guy at 6 feet 230, but he runs. He will play sideline to sideline today.
3rd down and 5. They almost need 6. Empty backfield. Brissett the only one home. He's going to tuck it away and try to run with it. Good tackle at the 39-yard line. He'll be very close to a 1st down depending on the mark. I don't think he got it. Nick Wright came up and made the tackle.
Well, he mentioned Edwin Jackson. He's going to blitz right through number 37, the linebacker, and he flushes Brissett to the outside. Now, here's some of the athleticism of Brissett. Not a great runner, but a guy that's very serviceable in the run game, but an excellent job by Georgia Southern to rally up and keep him short of the 1st down.
The Eagles needed 5. They got 4. So Will Baldwin comes in to punt it away. He's a good one. And Brandon Thomas is standing inside the 15 for Georgia Southern. Baldwin gets a tail wagger. This is a knuckleball, not a good punt. It's taken at the 20-yard line, but it's good coverage. Terrific coverage. A 43-yard punt. And Dravius Wright got down there in a hurry and made the tackle. Timeout on the field. Scoreless game. Great coverage Opening day, Labor Day weekend. We'll be back.
ACC football is being brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the ACC, by your Carolina Ford dealers, and by Food Line, official supermarket of the ACC.
Labor Day weekend means plenty of cookouts, and when you come down here, you better be ready to put on the feed bag. Tremendous food, good time had by all, and a packed house. Our Carolina Ford keys to the game, Arch, how do they look?
Well, when you talk about Georgia Southern coming into this environment, will they be shocked by the situation, or will they shock this crowd, or will they be in awe? I don't think they'll be in awe at all. And certainly for NC State, their motto this year, make a statement. We talked to this coaching staff. They want some guys to step up and make that statement today.
Ellison back in at quarterback again. We will see Fabian Upshaw. Two quarterbacks that are very, very athletic. Breida still the running back. This is the pistol, made famous by Chris Ault at Nevada. This is Ramsey, and Ramsey, L.A. Ramsey across the 20. That's a gain of 4.
When you talk about Georgia Southern's offense, directed by Kevin Ellison, this is a team. We talked about the triple option effect they had last year. There'll still be some of those elements in, and I think you'll be a little bit more diversified with the 3 receiver sets, being able to motion and create matchup problems.
Show twin receivers to the bottom of the screen, and Ramsey took it straight ahead. He's close to a first down. I think he got it. Will depend on the mark. That'll be the first down of the game.
When you look at this Wolfpack defense, I think they want to be markedly better this year. When you look at their ability to morph in and out of different looks, but the 4-2-5, they want to be aggressive, bump and run coverage on the outside. And Art Norman, the big defensive end, closing in on Mario Williams' sack record, just 8.5 away.
Georgia Southern gets the first down, goes no huddle, try to pick up the tempo, throw to the outside, and a gain 5, maybe 6. Zach Walker with his first catch of the game. He had 7 receptions last year. That's a gain of 8. Let's go downstairs to Rachel.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Kevin Ellison, also B.J. Johnson this year. B.J. Johnson said, it's like Christmas for a wide receiver. Are you kidding me? He had 12 receptions last year. He's excited about that happening again this year. Kevin Ellison got all the guys together in the offseason and worked on passes, and he did that himself, guys.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they can protect against this really good NC State defense with the blitzes.
Trying to throw deep, got a step, but overthrown. Oh, my. Boy, they set it up perfectly. B.J. Johnson had gotten behind the cornerback, and it was overthrown.
Well, Jack Tocho is up, bump and run. We talked about bump and run coverage, and it's an opportunity to take a shot down the field. They'll play fake. They got good protection, and Ellison just not enough trajectory under the ball to let his big-time receiver, B.J. Johnson, run underneath it. But, hey, they took a shot, and that'll affect the defensive coordinator.
It sure will. It'll get their attention, won't it, partner?
Got a little blitz stirring right here now, and Ellison looks to the sideline, and they're going to change the protection. They saw it coming as well.
3rd down and 3. Handoff straight ahead. It'll be close to another first down. Matt Breida in the ball game, the ball carrier. Breida missed most of the spring with an injury, but he's a high school track guy, and he carries some weight with it. That's a first down, the 2nd of the game, both by Georgia Southern.
Now, they ran away from where they thought pressure was coming. You saw Ellison look to the sideline. They checked the play at the line of scrimmage, and Willie Fritz's team got into the right play there to run away from what they thought was going to be pressure off of their left side.
Boy, they break that huddle quickly. Line gets down. And again, they go straight ahead, and look out. This is Breida. Breida can flat out fly. He's a track guy. Breida, touchdown, Georgia Southern. Oh, my, 61 yards by the sophomore Matt Breida from Brooksville, Florida.
Tim, as much as you want to change, you stay the same. They spread out into a quick triangle set in the backfield, and all it really was turn around and ride the fullback in the hole. No one at home for NC State, and Breida shoves it in the end zone.
Alex Hanks comes on to attempt the extra point. The hold is good. The kick is good. And how about this? The Eagles of Georgia Southern lead. Carter Finley sounds like a library. Matt Breida, big touchdown run. Should not be surprised by this school. This school has won 6 national championships and even taken a step up from the FCS to the FBS. They have now shocked this crowd.
Well, Tim, look at the safeties. They're up in the line of scrimmage. We talked about how aggressive NC State was going to play. Those guys have to help out with the block, with the tackling here. Both get caught up in the wash. All it is dive option. Ride the fullback in. Defender comes to the quarterback. He gave the ball to Breida, and nobody home in the back end of the secondary. They got up on the second level, got the linebacker Fernandez blocked, but the safeties got caught up in the wash on the play.
You know, we talked to the cornerback Justin Burris yesterday for NC State. We talked about their secondary and how disciplined they have to be when they defend this offense. It is so multiple, and they got burnt up the middle that time. Matt Days will be standing at his own goal line. This is a low line drive that'll go to the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback there, so they'll bring it out. But now it's up to the NC State offense and Jacoby Brissett to come alive, because State was outscored 107-48 in the first quarter a year ago, and this is a team that has lost 8 straight ball games.
Well, and you got to wonder where their confidence is. The confidence is good. This is an offense that'll go sideline to sideline because of Brissett's ability. They've got a quality set of receivers. It's a veteran offensive line. You saw him try to throw to Greenwich on the first play of the game. Greenwich, the tight end, good pass receiving tight end, but you can see how spread out they are offensively.
Brissett on first down, throws underneath, has the completion. This is Matt Days. Matt Days is a tremendous receiver. He's only 5'9", 202 pounds. He's also an excellent runner. Edwin Jackson, who Arch talked about in the pregame, was there to make the tackle.
Here's some of their ability to shift gears, Tim, and get into a little bit more different tempo.
Roll to the left, throw the out pattern all alone out there. And that'll be another first down. Bo Hines makes the catch, pick up the 11.
Yeah, one of those early entries, signed and immediately was in school in the spring, had a chance to go through spring practice. One of the freshmen that'll contribute throughout the day.
Georgia Southern goes to a 4-2-5 to bring in the nickel back. They stop play. This will be against NC State.
Yeah, Matt Days moves inside in the slot.
So that'll move them back 5. They reeled off a 10-yarder, reeled off an 11-yarder. Now get the penalty. That'll kill you.
When you look at Southern's defense, they are a base 4-3, and they'll morph in and out of and put 2 linebackers on the field as well. Great speed in the secondary, and we mentioned Jackson, the linebacker. He can run.
Davey just made that adjustment. They went to the 5 secondary guys. Days takes it right up the middle, gets back to the original line of scrimmage or close to it.
Well, this is the old chess match, Tim, that we see every Saturday, and it happens on Sundays as well. We're going to sub in, and we're going to go 3 or 4 receivers. Do you bring your nickel in? If they do, then you run the ball. The old adage, run the ball against the nickel, throw it against the base. So trying to get smaller players on the field for Georgia Southern and then run the football at it.
Brissett, former top 100 recruit, played with the Gators of Florida. He's had 2 springs here in Raleigh. I know they were anxious to get him on that field today. Here's a little waggle, throws again into the flat. That's a play they've had success on in this drive. Tyler Purvis takes it up near the first down marker. They're going to mark it at the 45, so it'll be just short of the first. Tackle made by Lenny Richardson.
Look at the accuracy here now. The key is, where is the ball placed by Brissett? This is a short throw, but get the ball to Purvis so he can turn and run. Excellent spot with the football just in front of the numbers. Catches it, rolls up the field, and it's 3rd and short.
NC State now in Georgia Southern territory. First time this afternoon. Tony Creasy in the ball game for the Wolfpack. Here's Brissett. He's got the first. Correction, Tony Creasy took the direct snap. He gets the first down.
A little Wildcat set, and they subbed it in. Almost caught us all off guard. Even caught Georgia Southern off guard maybe a little bit. Creasy, the senior running back, steps in, or actually a graduate student. He's already graduated. Direct snap to Creasy, and he hits it straight ahead for the first down.
Creasy, a talented player, certainly one of their leaders. Graduated. 5'11", 215-pounder from Durham. Quick throwback. Marquez goes down inside the 35. So Valdes-Scantling makes his first catch of the day. Stanley and Glover make the tackle, but it's a pickup of 9.
Nice wrinkle, little play fake off of the jet sweep, get the ball outside, and then the big fella, Tyson Chandler, out there gets a block and gets his receiver up the field. Excellent job of blocking by the big fella. Get Valdes-Scantling up the field. Another graduate student, Tim, Tyson Chandler, big right tackle.
Matt Days takes the snap. He keeps it. We're seeing more and more of that.
Well, it looks like they want that to be their short yardage package. Take Brissett out of the mix as far as running the football. Go ahead and get the ball in the hands of the guy you'd like to carry it on short yardage situation. We saw Creasy do it. And here's Days. Here's Edwin. That's actually Edwin Jackson stepping up in there, trying to get in on the play. Talked about Jackson. Talked about Antoine Williams. Two outstanding linebackers.
Jackson lost his hat, had to go to the sidelines. He's not in there this time. First down and 10, NC State. On the way, Brissett. 4 out of his first 5 passes are complete. Here he is going for the whole enchilada. Incomplete. It was intended for Stephon Lewis, the true freshman. Darius Jones knocked it away, but there are 2 players for Georgia Southern who are shaken up.
Yeah, Stephon Lewis, big receiver, 6'2", 215 pounds. This ball floated a little bit on Brissett, but it ultimately was in good position for him to be able to go up and try to make a play. Darius Jones, the corner, he made it grab the shoulder pad to try to elevate himself, get up and try to knock the ball down. But boy, the ball ultimately hit Lewis right in the. See it how it kind of hung up, kind of a duck type throw, but it looked like maybe Darius Jones got his right hand on the ball to blur the vision of Lewis.
Both guys are up. Deshante Gallen and Darius Jones. They both had the wind knocked out of them. So they come over and regroup. It's very hot today. It's in the mid-80s right now, even more than that down on the field, but it's very humid.
Well, you can bet that that's not going to bother these guys from Statesboro down in South Georgia. It gets pretty steamy down there now.
But it might in the second half. Keep in mind now, they stepped up to the FBS. They still don't have their full allotment of 85 scholarships, only 77. And a lot of those were walk-ons. This is Brissett. He's taken down in a hurry. Actually, he gave it straight ahead and picked up 6. Edwin Jackson back in the ball game makes the tackle.
Yeah, the zone read play, Tim, where you're looking for the back to come across. If the defensive end widens, you're going to keep Brissett. I think they'd like to see Brissett run the football some. I don't think they want to make a living on Jacoby Brissett running the ball, but he has to show that athleticism, which he has. Big quarterback at 6'4", 230. And Edwin Jackson, there's their leading tackler from a year ago. Just an outstanding player, great speed. And in on the play there. So they forced a 3rd down in conversion situation.
Brissett took a pretty good hit that time. Third down for the Wolfpack. Back into the corner, wide open. Was he inbounds? No, out of bounds. Braylon Cherry thought he had a foot in, but did not.
He saw it just a hair late. Jacoby Brissett saw it just a hair late and just didn't have enough room to get the ball in. You see Cherry trying to choke it down, waiting, and just couldn't wait long enough for the ball to get in there. But Georgia Southern came with a blitz. Excellent job by NC State to pick it up and gave their quarterback a chance. Just a hair late with the throw.
Will Bowman will hold, and Nicholas Sadie will come on to attempt a 41-yard field goal. Plenty of distance. And it's good. So NC State on the board. Seven to 3, Carter Finley Stadium. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC stations.
There's 2 things we love here in Raleigh. It's Wolfpack football
and Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
It's bow time. Yeah!
Bojangles was out bright and early this morning as college football kicked off its opening weekend, Labor Day weekend, and NC State fans enjoying the tailgating. Their big bow boxes filled with Bojangles chicken and biscuits and fixins and tea. Remember, folks, it's always bow time when you're tailgating. Dave Archer, Georgia Southern, talked about opening it up offensively, but so far 9 plays, 7 runs.
Yeah, and they took the deep shot, Tim, and you know, as a former defensive player, that kind of puts that seed in your mind. that you better be careful, or if we creep too close, and the next thing you know, they pop the run out of there for the big touchdown run by Breida.
If you're just joining us and you see Georgia Southern leading NC State 7-3, not surprising when you think that this team got a lot of attention nationally by beating Florida last November in the final game. So they went down to the Swamp, beat the Gators, took a step up into the FBS, and here we are. They lead 7-3. Matt Breida and Cameron May are standing on their own end zone line, and his kick will be taken at the 4. It'll be lost at the 2. Looking for something. Ball still loose, and they get it back at the 5. So they put it on the ground twice and got it back both times. Let's go back to Charlotte and listen in on Tom and Tommy.
Thanks, Tim. Time for a Hyundai update. Number 7, UCLA at Virginia.
The interception goes to Grayson Lambert, but watch protection break down the backside. Defensive end gets his hand on the ball. Ball flutters.
Ishmael Adams, the interception. UCLA up 7-0.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. 4:44 to play in the first here. 7-3, Georgia Southern.
Well,
but the Eagles are backed up.
Monster hit, obviously the fumble on the kick, but a monster hit by Hakeem Jones, the starting free safety, and it puts Georgia Southern in the shadow of their own goalpost.
Sometimes you come into a stadium like this on opening day, you're the visiting team, you feel like going bear hunting with a stick. Then you add the fact that they've stepped up in competition, so right now backed up at their 5, they've got to be thinking, oh my, here we go.
Down there on that end where there's a lot of students from NC State. Going to try to make it tough on Kevin Ellison.
And right away they take a timeout. So the first timeout of the game is taken by Georgia Southern. As you mentioned, backed up with all those students down that end in the end zone. And it's a tough way to start a drive.
And when you talk about this offense, I think that obviously came out, went 3 and out, and then they got a good drive, the Breida long touchdown run. So I think Georgia Southern has settled into the game. If there ever was a moment where they were a little scared about being here, which they probably weren't, but you mentioned the Florida win. When you look at there's Ruby Tuesday, the game menu. How about the games? You look through, look at the Wake Forest stumbles, excellent win for Syracuse, 2 overtimes, got some big ones coming up. Virginia up on UCLA, and coming up tonight, how about the big ones tonight? Clemson travels to Georgia, and of course the #1 team in the country is going to spend some time in Texas taking on Okie State.
That Virginia 7-0 lead over UCLA is huge. A lot of people thought that was an ambush waiting for him in Charlottesville. This is Ellison who takes the ball out to a first down. That'll give him some breathing room at about the 17-yard line. UCLA in everybody's top 10, usually the top 5. They also have a Heisman Trophy candidate in Hundley. Travel across the country, go to Charlottesville, and the Wahoos lead 7-0.
Yeah, there's that Monday game too. The in-conference game is Louisville, their first game in conference, as they host Miami on Monday. So a big slate of games on our Ruby Tuesday's game menu.
L.A. Ramsey comes back in as a running back next to Ellison. Ramsey was a quarterback during the spring, one of their best players. Gives him a little tap dance across the 20 to the 21, maybe. No, right on the 20. That's a gain of 3. Hakeem Jones with another tackle. He's been active today.
Well, and he's going to have to be active. Those 2 safeties, both Hakeem Jones and the freshman Josh Jones, high expectations for both those guys, but they're going to have to spend a lot of time watching what's going on and really reading their keys, as you talked about, against this option attack.
2nd down and 7 for the Eagles. Here's your option. Get it out to the corner. Another first down, and almost broke it. Kevin Ellison showing a little strength with his speed and picks up 14.
Well, Tim, in another part of the equation now, it's one thing, and we see a little dive here with an option coming outside. Now the second part of this, hey, you're at home, you're in the right spot where you're supposed to be. Now you got to make the tackle. And how about the blocking on the perimeter? Whenever you get a team that runs option, you can bet the wide receivers know how to block down the field.
Dave, we get our first look at Fabian Upshaw, who's just checked in at quarterback. The transfer from Florida International. Runs a 4.3 40. Instead throws the out. It's B.J. Johnson who made the catch up to the 41, gain of 7. Upshaw showing a pretty strong arm, and Hakeem Jones again makes another tackle.
Well, these are the one-on-one matchups you have to take advantage of. If they're going to crowd the box with 8 players, then Upshaw or Ellison's going to have to throw the one-on-one matchups outside. They love B.J. Johnson against anybody. 6'1", 210 pounds. You see the play selection obviously weighted towards the run, but good throw on first down there.
Ellison back in the ball game. He's with the keeper into the second level across the 45 to the 44. Noel makes the tackle, but it's a gain of 12.
Boy, really having a tough time of the option portion outside. There are players in the right position. There's the dive now. Do I keep it? I keep it because, look, that's taken away. So he's got to keep the ball. Nobody for the quarterback, and Ellison hits it up the field. Excellent job there of reading the play by Kevin Ellison. Dave Huxtable got to be scratching his head a little bit. Said, boys, we went over this, man. We talked about this. They're going to option us. Had a tough time stopping it so far.
Little L.A. Ramsey goes to wide receiver. Now back in the backfield. And he's your ball carrier. A tough 2. Thomas Teal will get credit for that tackle.
Yeah, and give Teal the credit for the tackle, but get the redshirt freshman linebacker number 4, Gerard Fernandez, some help there too.
Our first and 10 line brought to you by YP.com. Even more powerful yellow pages. One app, one site. YP can do that. The Eagles need 8. They go straight ahead to the 40. They're not going to get enough for the first. Pickup of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6.
Well, Tim, we talked about how steamy a day it is, and this is kind of the Georgia Southern way of playing. They're going to run the football, take some shots at the passing game. But we talked also in talking to Dave Huxtable, the defensive coordinator, with Willie Fritz's offense, the way they're going to come at you, we're going to have to rotate defensive linemen. And they're going to have to do that on a long drive like this.
These are the plays where the defense has the advantage. 3rd down and long. And the defense swarms and makes the stop. The Eagles will have to punt.
Boy, Art Norman shoots in off the edge. We talked about Art Norman. He forces the play here. They want to run read option here, but Norman's going to come off of the edge hard. And he's going to force Ellison's decision right now. He actually disrupted Ellison's footwork to try to hit it straight ahead, and then a number of Wolfpack defenders rally to make the play. There's the big timer off the edge.
Yeah, big old Monty Nelson got over there. He's 312 pounds. Helped Norman. Nowicki comes on to punt, and Braylon Cherry is back at his own 10-yard line. So you assume this will be a little pooch punt. Try to keep it inside the 10, but it looks long. It'll go into the end zone, I do believe. No. Did they down it? They downed it at the 1. A 37-yard punt downed at the 1 by Deshante Gallen. So the end of the first quarter at Carter-Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. Georgia Southern 7, NC State 3. We'll be back. Our first quarter stats brought to you by the North Carolina Education Lottery. This year, the North Carolina Education Lottery will contribute more than $500 million to help meet North Carolina's education needs. Learn more at nc-educationlottery.org.
Well, you look at the stats. Amazing how well Georgia Southern's come out running the football, spearheaded by Kevin Ellison. They've done an outstanding job with the option attack. Now, NC State shifts gears. They've got the football. They had a good drive the last drive, resulted in 3, but they're backed up here against their own goal line.
Shadrack Thornton comes into the ball game. Brissett rolls right, throws it away. Boy, looked calm in the end zone. Chased out by Lanier Richardson.
Boy, excellent decision by Jacoby Brissett. He floated out of the pocket, as you said, Tim. He looked very calm here. He's going to set in his own end zone. Excellent pressure off the edge by Georgia Southern. And then he just floats the ball out of bounds. Lenny Richardson coming off the edge for the Eagles.
Smart play that he didn't try to fit it in there. So it'll bring 2nd down and 10. Thornton, Cole, out to the 7. Shadrack Thornton's first carry of the ball game. Antonio Glover made the tackle, but it's a pickup of 7.
Well, excellent patience as this big offensive line does a good job of getting some movement. Look at him just crush that Georgia Southern defensive front out of the way, and Thornton does a really good job of being patient, presses the hole, and just kind of leans forward and puts Jacoby Brissett in a very manageable 3rd down situation.
NC State's offensive line averages 316 pounds. 3rd down, need 3, go to the flats. Good tackle, but after they get the 1st down, so they'll move the chains. Braylon Cherry with his 2nd catch of the game.
Well, I'm not sure, Tim. This is very close. Cherry runs the quick out in the slot. I don't think he got there. I think he's short, and that's on the young receiver now. He's got to understand where the sticks are, and he came up short of the sticks. Brissett was on the money with the throw, but the sophomore.
They're not even going to measure.
Yeah, he's a good yard short here.
That's Lenny Richardson, who is down. 6'1", 265-pound junior. Let's go back to Charlotte and check in with Tom and Tommy.
Thanks, Tim. Time for a Hyundai update. Wofford at Georgia Tech. Zach Lasky for the Jackets in for the TD. Wofford has added a field goal early second, 7-3 Georgia Tech.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Meanwhile, they help Lenny Richardson of Georgia Southern off the field. That'd be a big loss if he can't continue. He's got 2 trainers there helping him. As you look at Willie Fritz, comes over from Sam Houston State. He inherited 7 starters from last year's team on the defensive side. Some good quality offensive guys. He's the 22nd head coach at Georgia Southern. And of course, Dave Doran doing a nice job. Firmly believes State is mentally tougher than last year because of last year.
Yeah, Doran said because of the injuries last year, he said we'd plug a hole and boom, another one would open up. He said he's never been through anything like that ever as a coach, what they went through last year at NC State.
So this is 4th and inches. Brandon Thomas is standing at the 46-yard line. Ballman's punt is a floater. Takes him back to the 34. He puts it on the ground again. Georgia Southern having trouble with the kicking game. The receiver, that's a 54-yard punt. Charlie Twitty gets down, makes the tackle, knocks it loose. 13:21 remaining in the 1st half. 7-3. Eagles remains the score.
ACC football is brought to you by Haviland, official motor oil of the ACC, and by Hardee's.
Well, the indoor facility for the Wolfpack football team is very close to reality. As a matter of fact, they broke ground, practice facility right behind the east end of the stadium here. 120-yard football field, additional accommodations. Track team will also work out there. It all cost about $17.2 million. And one of the great players from that era, well, Mario Williams. Let's go downstairs to Rachel.
Hey, Mario, tell me about how you feel about getting your number retired. What an honor here at NC State.
I feel great. I mean, you know, to come out here and be a part of this legacy, you know, it's just great. You know, since day one, since being here in school, you know, I live and die, you know, Wolfpack, and every year I come back and I'm here all the time, just about any chance I get. But it's just very exciting. It's very exciting to come out to the home opener and see all these great fans and see all the people in the stands. You know, words can't really explain it.
You were so disruptive when you were here. What was that play you'll always remember?
I think the plays I always remember is simply the first play. The first play of every game. It could be anything, but it was all about running out that tunnel with my teammates and with the coaches and seeing the fans and just being able to experience some, you know, Wolfpack ball. And every play is memorable to me. So.
Congratulations on today. Back up to you guys.
T.Y. McGill looked like Super Mario on that first down play. He really hit Kevin Ellison hard. The ball was almost interception. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Super Mario, if I'm not mistaken, Archie's the only player in ACC history to be selected as the #1 pick in the NFL draft.
Well, when you talk about fire breathers coming off the edge, this guy is the definition of that. He wreaked havoc coming off the edge for the Wolfpack.
2003 through 2005, all the sack records. Had 76.5 sacks for the Bills. T.Y. McGill again with a big play.
Well, T.Y. McGill set the tone early for this defense, made a play early in the game, and has done it again. Big T.Y. McGill, number 75. He anchors this defensive front. Go ahead and let it roll, guys, as he's going to shoot through the gap, fight off, and just make the tackle on an elusive quarterback like Kevin Ellison.
Well, he made all 3 tackles on that. He was the series stopper. Braylon Cherry now will be at his own 15-yard line. Nowicki has had a pretty good leg here so far in this game. This is another high spiraling punt. It'll take Cherry inside the 15, looking for some blockers. Gets one. Where's the fence? Here's the cutback to the 30-yard line. Again, pretty good coverage to get by the blocker after a 54-yard punt. Nardo Govan, the tight end, made the stop. ACC Football Challenge is available now on Apple and Google Play app stores. Compete as your favorite ACC team and go head-to-head with with the other fans across the conference. Just download the newly relaunched ACC Football Challenge today.
Take a look at what NC State's been able to do so far today. A little sluggish. Haven't really been able to put one drive together. Everything else it's been sluggish start, and this is a sluggish start to this drive as well, as Georgia Southern making a play on their side of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Creasy had nowhere to run. Darius Sapp, big old 320-pounder, got there to make the tackle. He holds a Coke can. It looks like a chapstick in somebody else's hand.
His brother played at Tennessee.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Gets our spotter Skip McMillan doing high fives here in the booth. Big old volunteer. Gordon and Dave both in the ball game now. Here's the quick pitch out to Matt Days. Days still won't have enough for the first, but he's out to the 37. Nick Wright knocks him out.
Yeah, quick screen to the outside, get Days out there through motion, and then receiver blocking out in front. Days is going to catch the football. You see they set up the screen for him. He picks his crease and gets up the field. So you 3rd and 4, and now Jacoby Brissett has run as well as pass available to him here to try to pick up the first down.
So far, Jacoby Brissett hadn't been asked to do too much out of the ordinary, but he's been very, very sharp. 6 of 10. He can spin it pretty well. Matt Days stays in the ball game.
Southern showing blitz.
Brissett has it picked off. Brissett throws his first pick at NC State. Returned inside the 10. Touchdown Eagles. Did he step out of bounds? They're looking. It looks like he stepped out at the 15. Oh, what a great read. Brissett rolled way right.
Well, it was all set up by the blitz. They brought more than NC State could block. Now Brissett on the move, and he just airmails the throw, and Caleb Williams is standing in behind. He sucks it in and is going to go down the sideline, and the right foot steps out at the 15-yard line. But a big play by this Georgia Southern defense.
Yeah, no question about the call. Right and left hit that line. But the run back's officially 28 yards, and they have great field position now at the 15.
15-yard line.
Caleb Williams with the interception and the return of 28 yards. Ramsey doesn't have anything.
Georgia Southern committing a lot of resources around the line of scrimmage. That time Brandon Pittman, the linebacker, the senior linebacker, did an excellent job of stepping up and stopping the run, and now 3rd and long. But you look at Georgia Southern's red zone offense, they were outstanding in the red zone. Their touchdown percentage was phenomenal.
2nd down and 9. Still not much there. Ramsey again, nowhere to run. You know, again, he had an excellent spring at quarterback, but they moved him back to running back because he's one of the best players on the field. And obviously, Willie Fritz wanted to get the best players on the offense and everybody in the game.
Now, Colerain High School, Cincinnati, Ohio, is Ramsey's home as a dual threat quarterback.
Cincinnati High School Player of the Year. But the quarterback is Kevin Ellison. He's faced at 3rd and 7. Drops back into the gun. And absolutely nothing but a tattoo waiting for him by Mike Rose. A loss of 3.
Well, this is one, again, the edge rusher, Rose, is going to come off the edge and make the decision tough for Ellison. He's here, going to crash really hard. And Ellison's trying to make the decision, do I hand it? And Rose was there to tackle both if he had to. But how about just swallowing the quarterback here? Mike Rose, the stop. What an excellent job by this NC State defense in a sudden change situation to not allow Georgia Southern in the end zone.
So Alex Hanks comes on to attempt the field goal from 32 yards. Ryan Nowicki is the holder. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up and is good. So Alex Hanks, who found out last night when they arrived in Raleigh that he was going to do all the kicking. He was 2 for 3 in field goals a year ago. He's 1 for 1 now. And Georgia Southern extends its lead to 10-3. You are watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. 175 affiliates in 38 states this season carrying this game today. Our score here, 10-3, Eagles leading. And closed captioning for ACC football is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. A lot of our friends, including my son who played football for UCLA, letting me know that we had the score wrong on the screen and that UCLA is pulling away, although he says the Bruins look sluggish, had touchdowns called back and missed field goals like they did against Nebraska last year, but they're pulling away in Charlottesville right now.
Well, when you look at Georgia Southern's drive, obviously netted absolutely nothing other than the 3 points that were provided by the Caleb Williams interception, because they didn't move the football. Excellent job by NC State's defense in that situation. Those are things they practice. Sudden change where you get a short field, you got to defend. And not a very good job by Georgia Southern to cash in on a golden opportunity there provided by Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. That may come back and haunt them. I mean, there's still 8:30 remaining in this period before the half. Well, UCLA defense, as I just mentioned, is certainly doing it, which makes my son Kevin proud. Let's go back to Charlotte and see what Tom's saying about it.
Tim, Tom, and Tommy in the studio for a Hyundai update. UCLA and Virginia, and the Cavs turn it over again.
The Cavaliers have struggled with turnovers during the Mike London era. 2 turnovers, 14 points.
Randall Goforth went 75 yards, and it happens again. Lambert intercepted by Eric Kendricks. 21-3, 3 defensive TDs in a single quarter.
Well, Tim, when you talk about what UCLA, they're a top 10 team, and all the talk has been about their offense. Brett Hundley and the quarterback for Virginia, that's got to just be deflating for their defense, playing really well and keeping Virginia out of the end zone offensively. Yet their offense has just been a nightmare, turning the ball over 3 times for touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question Mike London on the hot seat there. This just doesn't help him, although he's opening up against an outstanding football team. This ball overthrown by Brissett. It was intended for Valdez Scantling.
Well, Jacoby Brissett playing for the first time in a long time, and as you watch his day unfold, a few scramble plays, he's taken a couple of shots deep, the one we just saw before, that one there, and then here on the run makes a poor decision with the football, or really an accuracy decision there with the football that ultimately results in the interception. But kind of a mixed bag so far for Jacoby Brissett so far.
Here they go to the outside. This is Thornton. He can fly around that corner. Gets knocked out of bounds on the 42-yard line. Steve Williams knocked him out, but not until he gained 13-yard line. He picked up 13.
Talented football player, Tim. This is a guy that had 173 yards rushing against Florida State a year ago.
State, little hurry up. They didn't have the first down chain set. Quick toss outside. That's Lewis has it. The true freshman.
This is something an offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, wants to change the tempo. They've been a little stagnant offensively. Let's shift gears here and go a little up-tempo.
Pick up of 9. Not going to get the first. Good tackle. Jonathan Alston made the catch, but Deion Stanley came up fast, the nickelbacker.
Well, I think you made a good point there, Tim. The tackling, it's been very clean for Georgia Southern so far in the game. They've done an outstanding job of making tackles in the open field, getting a lot of hats to the football. So that's been impressive.
You know, Dave, one thing that Georgia Southern did not do well last year was turn the ball over. They couldn't get turnovers, couldn't generate turnovers. Dobson and Stanley, they'd combined for 5 interceptions, but they had only 12 turnovers all last year. Tony Creasy in the ball game. Here's Creasy around the corner. Look out. Creasy into the second level, and he gets knocked out of bounds inside the 45. They'll mark it at the 42. A pickup of 11, and here come the Wolfpack.
They get a good block on the edge. Devin Connor, the tight end, gets a good block on the edge and gets Creasy outside in that Wildcat set. That's become their short yardage remedy right now. 3 third and short situations, they've gone to the Wildcat set.
Timeout, NC State. Dave, you mentioned it. They have a chance here to tie the score after Georgia Southern did not get a touchdown with a golden opportunity. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. You know, throughout the season, AT&T brings you the ACC Network Game Center on the ACC.com. You'll find all the information that you need to watch upcoming ACC Network games, local TV listings, team previews, video features, and even the game itself streamed live, all made possible by AT&T, official wireless partner of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Brissett now with 8 completions. He's distributed it to 7 different receivers. So he seems to have acclimated quite well.
Yeah, I think that it's still been a little bit of a knock in the rust off scenario for him. I think we'll see him get better throughout the game.
There's the give straight ahead. Shadrack 40. He picks up 4. Boy, he's such a talent. Last year he ran for 768 yards. He had those 2 100-yard games, including that 173-yarder against Florida State with 2 touchdowns.
Well, this is a team, and they want to get back to some of their identity is run the football, be physical. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher. You got to go back to 02, T.A. McClendon, the last time this team had a 1,000-yard rusher. They'd like to see someone in that streak this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the runners. I think that, you know, since Phillip Rivers' last game, 2003, the offensive line has been a code red. Braylon Cherry picks up 3. But you mentioned that earlier. I mean, the offensive line this year seems to be coming together. Could be their best in years.
Well, this is one of the wrinkles they want to put in. Not only want to run the football in the middle, the good blocking on the outside, the perimeter, the receivers doing a good job on that jet sweep. To be able to run the football on the perimeter and obviously between the tackles is what's going to give you that good 1,000-yard rush, or at least an attack that you can hang your hat on for Dave Doeren.
Well, they're putting themselves in good position here. 3rd down and short. Step up, got the first down. Ball's loose. And Georgia Southern has it if it's called a completion. No, incomplete pass. Well, I thought he had it. Bo Hines was the intended receiver. Glover knocked it loose. Let's see if he had possession.
Yeah, got to come inside on the slant, squeeze it, really turn, and then Glover with the big hit. Wow, that's one. It certainly looked like
I thought he took a step.
He took a step with the football. It's a bang play, no question about it. Give Glover a ton of credit. Watch, he put the helmet right in there on the ball. Good hit by the Georgia Southern Eagles safety and got the ball out of there.
I thought he had it. This will be a 52-yard field goal attempt by Nicholas Sadie. He's got a strong leg. He's got plenty of distance. And it is no good.
Now 0 for 1 a year ago from 50 yards plus, and that time just a little bit wide for the Pack kicker. We'll be back.
Well, certainly that's what everybody's playing for this year, the ACC trophy. And to me, Dave Archer, and you talked about this earlier and nailed it. It looks like Coastal Division, okay. Atlantic Division, holy cow.
Well, I think it's going to be a very competitive on both sides of the ledger, but certainly that Atlantic Division, everybody's looking at Florida State. Clemson is a team that is always in the mix. But I think teams like NC State, some of these teams that are kind of laying in the weeds, are going to surprise some people. And I think that obviously NC State needs to get it rolling here a little bit, but I think the Atlantic Division has got Florida State sitting there and everybody's aiming at it.
I agree with you 100%, but that Atlantic Division at the top, Seminoles, Clemson, Louisville, wow. ACC loaded. Straight ahead, not a whole lot. Gain of 1. Let's go downstairs to Rachel Barbeau. Rachel?
Yeah, I just heard Coach Ryan Nielsen talking to his team. He said, they're smaller, knock them back, the defensive line. He said, it's fundamentals out there with the option, okay? It's all about your eyes. It's all about your feet. It's discipline. He calls these guys war daddies. They say they'll be successful if they pound the run, pound that quarterback, and play like war daddies.
Yeah, and they rotate 8 players through that defensive front to stay fresh.
Not much there for Ellison that time on the option. You know, it's the same philosophy, though, for the offense. They've got to let their eyes move their feet, especially on the option.
Let's watch that big defensive front now. Try to eat up blocks, play on the Georgia Southern side of the line of scrimmage. Really a good job by the front four as Rose, 90, folds in from the backside to make the tackle on the quarterback for a middle gain.
3rd down and 8. Georgia Southern may be getting a break here as a cloud cover comes in. Dims that sun and maybe takes some of the heat off. They don't have as much depth as NC State does. Steps up. Dangerous throw, tough throw, but a great completion.
Boy, that's a spectacular throw. Gets the ball out there to Zach Walker. Walker's in the slot. But how about Ellison, who's known about, about his ability to run the football. Watch him stand in here. Pressure coming. Those big guys are fighting as hard as they can. He couldn't even follow through to make the throw. Walker, 9, working the slot. Well thrown ball on time by Ellison. Move the chains.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what a great point you just made, Dave. I mean, and this is a guy that took a tremendous shot from T.Y. McGill in the last series, so he's still not gun shy. 1st down, Eagles, left side. Ramsey finds a little bit of a crease and makes 5 yards out of it. What do you have, Rachel?
Yeah, Matt Breida has ice on his right shoulder. I just talked to their head trainer, Brandy, and she said it's precautionary. We're going to try to put him back in the 3rd quarter. He has not had x-rays, guys. He's resting on the sidelines as we speak.
Matt Breida had that 61-yard run for the touchdown through the middle with 9:07 to play in the 1st quarter, so they'd love to get him back in the ball game. He's a high school track guy that showed his speed early.
Well, you'd like to have him just in the game simply because of the rotation at back. Whenever there's a timeout by NC State as they're trying to find a way to get the right personnel on the field at 3rd short. But the rotation at running back is disrupted, Tim, as one of the guys stands on the sideline.
ACC and your local Toyota dealers are unlocking the ACC archives. You can relive over 60 classic football games, all for free. 4 years ago, NC State rallied to defeat number 16, Florida State. The Wolfpack, led by Russell Wilson, who ran for 3 touchdowns. Christian Ponder and the Seminoles had a chance to win in the final minutes, but fumbled near the goal line and sealed the upset, 28-24. Visit theacc.com/vault. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Tim, let's look back and see if we can figure out. We think we've located where Breida took the shot. Remember, he fumbled the kickoff after the successful NC State field goal. Big hit right there. Ball comes out. Looked like the linebacker Pittman came in and laid the lick on the kickoff return, and that may be why Breida's on the sideline.
Ramsey bounces outside, has another 1st down. He's inside the 40. Rodman Newell makes the tackle after a gain of 4, but again, Georgia Southern on the move.
Really controlling the line of scrimmage. A bit of a surprise that Georgia Southern has been able to have their way after the 1st series of downs. Have really kind of dictated the pace of play here. Give that big group up front, the offensive line, a lot of credit.
Clock continues to move. 3:10 to play in the 1st half. Sun comes back out. Heat goes back up. Flag flies, and the ball overthrown. This may be against the Wolfpack.
Offside, 35 defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So Contavious Street was offsides. A reminder that today's coverage for ACC football is being broadcast on AFN. That's the American Forces Network, and we welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and the Marines stationed around the globe in 175 countries. We're so proud to have you with us, and we hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Sure appreciate what you do for us every single day. This is Devin Scott And absolutely nothing there. A loss of 1.
Excellent job by Arias Moore, the rookie, the freshman from Beaver Creek, Ohio. Beaver Creek High School, 58 right here, going to knife in, step around, make the play. Boy, you talk about filling. That's big time play by a freshman linebacker.
2nd down and 6. Good timing pattern, little hook to Zach Walker. He's open in the hook area. 7 yards is the pickup. Well, certainly enough for the first.
Yeah, and really good understanding of what Ellison needs to do as a passer. We talk about him as a runner, having an understanding there in that short yardage situation that I've got Zach Walker going to run that little hitch route in the slot against the zone, just getting the football as soon as he turns around. So excellent recognition by the sophomore quarterback.
1st down and 10. Georgia Southern. The keeper straight ahead by Kevin Ellison. Known as an elite runner, but picks up nothing there. Drew Davis made the tackle.
Yeah, continuing to roll that defensive front. Drew Davis now in the game. You can see all 8 of these guys that will rotate in as NC State's defensive ends and defensive tackles do an excellent job understanding the scheme, and they're all very active. Sophomore out of Raleigh, North Carolina, Drew Davis.
This is the 10th play of the drive. 2nd down and 9. Ball in the 27. And again, they go straight up the middle, and there's not much there. Trajan Priest and Rondon Newell, the linebacker, stepped up and made the tackle.
Well, this is what the activity that they're going to be defensively differently. Here's Nowell here. He's just going to read it and shoot and hit the gap and make the play. Just steps past the block of the right tackle, Kluge, and makes the play. Just excellent read and recognition. Senior linebacker makes the play.
So Kevin Ellison needs to manufacture something here on 3rd down and 11. They should be within field goal range, but they need 6. Johnson and Walker go to the top of the screen. 3 of 7 on 3rd down conversions this afternoon. Ellison rolls right, throws over the middle. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. Kentrella Showers came free in the back of the end zone, and the Eagles have scored again.
Boy, again, unbelievable recognition by Ellison. It looks like they actually are trying to design him to get outside on the delay sweep type play. He goes back, and then Olsen starts to flush, and then he finds Showers, who'd gotten in behind the coverage. Excellent throw, well-thrown ball on the move. Showers elevates, catches it at the highest point, and it's another touchdown for Georgia Southern.
Extra point attempt. Snap, hold, yes, sir. And it is Georgia Southern 17, NC State 3, and we hear the first boos coming out of the stands at Carter Finley.
Kentrella Showers, he's a senior, only had 4 receptions a year ago.
Let's go back to Charlotte and get an update from Tom and Tommy.
Well, Tim, thank you. I want to let you know what's coming up on the Hyundai halftime report. Coach, Virginia and UCLA and the Cavs are hanging tough despite giving up 3 defensive touchdowns to the Bruins.
Even though 2 of the 3 turnovers were not the fault of Grayson Lambert, the Virginia quarterback, they had to go with Matt Jones to change momentum.
Yeah, Matt Jones came in and threw a touchdown pass, 21-10 at halftime. The Hyundai halftime report is coming up in just moments. Tim?
All right, Tom, thank you. And, of course, UCLA had 2 touchdowns called back. And so, I mean, that game, you're right, Virginia's hanging around at home. Look out in the second half.
Well, just doing a really good job defensively. Let's take a look at that touchdown. Kentrella Showers is in the slot here, going to kind of lean here and then get up the field. And Dravius Wright is going to get caught leaning with the little move, got caught outside, and Kevin Ellison saw it and put it on his big receiver for a touchdown. Ellison, it looks like he floats and is going to run for the first down, and has his eyes up the field, good throwing posture, saw his big receiver Showers down the field, and makes a good throw on the move.
Matt Day standing at his goal line will go about 4 yards deep and put it down there. So with 34 seconds left, he doesn't run it out. They'll bring it out to the 20, and that's where things will start for the Wolfpack.
Well, now the onus squarely on the shoulders of this Wolfpack offense. They've moved the ball some. There's been a little bit of a mixed bag in their ability to move it between the 20s. Now it's time to step up, and they're going to have to really put something together here and put some points on the board here in the waning moments, if they can get in field goal range to try to put some points on the board.
Meanwhile, big game up in Baltimore, Maryland today, and Navy has jumped out on Ohio State. Here's a sweep around the left side. This is Shadrack Thornton. Arch, I don't know if you've seen Navy yet, but Keenan Reynolds, the quarterback there, got some Heisman mentions. First time that's happened since Roger Staubach was there, certainly in the 1960s. But
excellent player, Tim. We had a chance to do him here on the ACC network. They played at Duke a year ago, and Duke, with that really good defense, really shut the door on Keenan Reynolds a year ago. So another opportunity for him to show what he can do.
Second down and 9 for the Wolfpack, trying to get some points on the board before intermission. This will be a first down to the 42-yard line. Clock is at 23 as they move the chains. It's a pickup of 15 to Greenwich.
NC State with just one timeout, trying to hold that in their pocket if they could get field goal range to use that there.
Clock starts again. Brissett steps up in the pocket, buys some time, throws underneath. This is Alston. Alston moves the chains again, I believe.
Well, this is where the understanding as a quarterback has to come into play. Remember, Brissett has not played very much. He can't afford to scramble around and burn time. Yes, you want to stay alive. Only 10 seconds left on the clock here. He's got to find somebody fairly quickly, get the football to him, and get that time out.
Stepped out of bounds short of the first. Second down and 3. 8 seconds, 7 seconds. Brissett inside the 40, trying to get down in field goal range, but he's not going to make it. 1 second left on the clock. It was a pickup of 15.
It looks like just 1 second left. They're going to get a chance to get Sadie in the game for a field goal attempt.
The Georgia Southern fans that are here are booing. They thought time should have expired. But there is 1 second left on the clock.
Well, I talked about Brissett scrambling around and burning the time, and he, fortunately for him, was able to get up the field far enough to where he's going to give Sadie a long field goal opportunity here with just 1 second left.
Now keep in mind, Nicholas Sadie's longest field goal of his career is 48 yards.
It's his second attempt for 50+ today.
This is a 54-yard attempt, so he already topped his record here this afternoon. This would be to top his all-time record.
Coach Fritz going to try to freeze the veteran kicker with a timeout.
Well, a reminder, next week we'll travel up to Clemson. Head coach Dabo Swinney now in his 7th season, and this is a talented football team. Orange Bowl winners, but you look at returning stars and the key losses, big.
Yeah, well, you don't replace Sammy Watkins. I don't care who you recruit. They've done an outstanding job of recruiting, but the defensive group this might be Dabo Swinney's best defense he's had since he's been the head coach at Clemson, led by Vic Beasley, a fire breather coming off the edge for him. But should be a lot of fun to watch. Clemson coming off an Orange Bowl win, big win over Ohio State after last season. So I think there's a lot of high expectations for the Tigers.
So Nicholas Sadie, who had a 41-yard field goal earlier in this ball game, his longest is 48 yards, and this would be from 54. That 41-yarder could have been good from 60.
Yeah, a little surprised here that Coach Fritz doesn't have somebody standing underneath the goalpost here. Long field goal. If he doesn't hit it perfectly, it may not get out of play. And with all those big guys on the field, you might have a return. We certainly saw that last year in a fairly famous game, did we not?
Did we ever in the Iron Bowl? This is not going to make it, is it? Oh, yes, sir, but it's wide right. He had the distance, but it was right.
Now, an impressive performance by Georgia Southern coming in here. Not odd at all that they're on the big stage and now an FBS school. We know they did a great job at Florida a year ago, too. They've done an excellent job today.
Let's go downstairs. Rachel Barbeau.
Coach, your program has a reputation of being giant killers, not afraid of the big game. Talk about the play of your quarterback out there.
I think Kevin's played really well. You know, it's a lot different when it's all for real right now. Some of the guys get a little tired, a little hot out here. We just got to keep fighting through. We got 30 big minutes coming up.
What about your defense holding NC State to 120 yards?
Really playing well right now. We're doing a good job of staying over the top, and we got to continue to keep doing that.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tom and Tommy.
Rachel, thank you. Wow, 17-3. Georgia Southern has the lead. A couple of missed field goals, too, also for NC State. Could have more points on the board, but Georgia Southern has come to play today, Coach.
Well, Jacoby Brissett is rusty, but you can understand why. He hasn't seen live bullets in a long time. He needs help. He needs help from his receivers, and he needs help from the running backs.
Yeah, he's a transfer from Florida who has not played in over a season, played in 9 games for the Gators. For NC State, you got to find some answers here if you're Dave Doeren. Try to get the offense rolling with Brissett, but Georgia Southern, they're still kind of sticking to the old game plan that helped them beat Florida last year.
Well, if you watch this game, Tom, it is big plays. You watch big completed play-action pass plays and long runs up the middle by the fullback. But again, you get the attention on the play-action pass, run up the middle, then all of a sudden you suck those safeties in, play-action pass. It's the same formula that he used last year versus Georgia Southern with success versus Florida. Different coaches, but a very similar offense.
See if the Wolfpack has the answers as they go to halftime, trailing 17-3 to Georgia Southern. They open this game with a 61-yard TD run from Matt Breida in the first quarter. 17-3 is our halftime score. The Hyundai halftime report is next.
We are the champions. Setting it off again. We on fire. We on fire. Running on fire. We on
All season long, Gavin DeGraw will kick off our telecast with his new hit single, Fire. Fire now available on iTunes, so check it out. His new album, Finest Hour, the best of Gavin DeGraw, hits the stores on October 21st. So mark your calendar. It's great to have Gavin with us all season long on ACC football because, folks, he is a winner. Welcome back inside Carter Finley Stadium, everybody. Tim Brandt along with Dave Archer, and it was, you said at the beginning of the game, shock or all for Georgia Southern. So far, it's been shock.
Yeah, it's been shock, and I think maybe NC State's in awe of what Georgia Southern's brought to the table, but really it's two areas. It's they've won on third down on offense, and they've made the two big plays. The long touchdown run by Breida, the touchdown throw from Ellison to Showers is the difference in the game.
Also had time of possession. They got the one interception. Take us inside the headset with AT&T.
Well, it's a very interesting scenario when you look at what Coach Ruse, Doug Ruse, the offensive coordinator, is looking at. He's watching NC State and watching their two safeties creep up around the line of scrimmage. He's just going to run dive option. They're going to feed Matt Breida the football. Ellison reads it, gives it to his talented running back who's got great speed, and Matt Breida puts it in the end zone. The first touchdown for Georgia Southern, and that's inside the headset, brought to you by AT&T.
Take you inside the game summary. Take a look at what's taking place with the two quarterbacks, 4-6. If you look at Ellison and you go across to Jacoby Brissett, you said he's still knocking off the rust.
Yeah, I think he's a little rusty, and you look at his yards per attempt, only 4 yards per attempt throwing the ball.
Well, a big interception, of course, we mentioned. There's the time of possession. Right now, let's go down on the field with Rachel Barbeau.
Coach, what kind of adjustments did you make at the half to defend the option?
Well, we got to tackle better. I mean, we've given up 2 plays in the game. They had a long run early in the first quarter, and then the busted coverage there on third down and long when he scrambled. So those are the 2 plays that have hurt us. They're a ball possession team. We got to get off the field on third down. We dropped an interception. I mean, those kind of plays are big. And then our offense has got to get us some points. You know, we're moving the ball, but we're not finishing any drives.
What do you do to loosen up Jacoby? Your thoughts on him?
You know, I just got to go play. I mean, he forced the ball. And other than that, he overthrew a post. You know, he's going to play. He's going to play. He's going to do his job. And we're in this game. We just got to make a few more plays.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck. Back up to you guys.
Dave Doeren doesn't seem like he is overly concerned so far. I mean, he knows what his program can do. He believes the state mentality is tougher because of last year. He believes in his program and he believes in his players. So he knows it'll all kick in, Arch.
Well, important message he just delivered. I'm sure that was the message he delivered to his team. Hey, game's got 30 minutes to go. We've had some plays available. We just haven't made them. Let's go out and do what we've been doing all camp long. But when you look on the other side of what Kevin Ellison has been able to do for this Eagle offense, and really has done it all. Running the option play, we knew was going to be a major part of what they were going to do. Ellison running the football, running through tackles. He's created a monster problem for him in the run game. And then his ability to get to the perimeter and find people down the field to throw the ball to. There to Showers for the second touchdown for Georgia Southern. Kevin Ellison has been the best quarterback so far on the field today.
Well, NC State will have it first to start the second half. Matt Days is standing at his own goal line. So Alex Hanks, who's had a strong leg today, gets a low liner. This will take him back about 3 yards into the end zone, and he will down it there. ACC football is brought to you in part by HD, your local Tire Pros dealers. Win tires, wheels, and a trip for 2 to the national championship game. The ACC.com/TirePros.
And I think you will get back. Coach Canada will get the offensive coordinator for NC State. Just get back to what they were doing early in the game. Get Jacoby Brissett going a little bit. There's got to be a sense of urgency, but no panic. And I thought that you got that from Dave Dorn when he talked to Rachel.
That's a great call, because there really wasn't any panic in his conversation there. He may have lit him up a little bit in the locker room, and that's all good. Here's the cutback, and again, a good tackle by Georgia Southern. Defensively, they've done a nice job. Lenny Richardson, he stops the ball after a gain of 3.
Well, you mentioned it there, Tim. They have tackled extremely well. I think when they've been in an open field, have NC State runners, they have not been able to break tackles or extend into a monster play, and really give Georgia Southern a ton of credit for open field tackling and getting a lot of hats to the football.
The Eagles gave up 160 yards rushing per game a year ago, but here's a big gain about Days. He gets to the outside, got the first down, and crosses the 40-yard line. Darius Jones knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, really good job by NC State's offensive line. Georgia Southern's going to come with pressure to the left side here of the screen, but they run away from it. Days finds that little crease provided by the offensive line.
Little swing pass, gets it outside again. Up-tempo now for the Wolfpack. They get it to Bo Hines. He's close to another first down. They'll move the chains. That's a gain of 10.
This makes it difficult on the defense. We saw the pace scenario there where they got the good run by Days, immediately at the line of scrimmage again. Quick throw outside. Now they slow down. Want to get a different package on the field. Here come 2 big tight ends check in. It makes it difficult for Coach Fritz's defense to be ready to get the calls in.
Big old safety Antonio Glover tries to get the defense in position. They now spread them across the field. First down at midfield. Brissett, play action. And he's going to go down hard. He throws it away, but he was in the grasp of Jonathan Battle. That'll be a sack.
Big Jonathan Battle, 290-pounder out of Americus, Georgia's going to knife through and get his hands on Jacoby Brissett. Brissett tries to throw it away, but he already had to let it go. Greenwich is going to run this little crossing route, and is wide open, but just didn't have a chance to turn it loose because Jonathan Battle won up front. He led his team in sacks a year ago with 3, and that's saying something for the defensive tackle position, but big play by the big fella.
He's really a good 3 technique player, which means he's right in the thick of the mess usually. Squatty body guy, but he's a hole clogger. Here's a flag, and that's going to be against the Wolfpack.
Number 54 offense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
Looked like maybe Joe Tooney moved a little bit up front, so you're gonna have to kind of regather your poise here a little bit. Probably a little surprised that you're looking down. So you're down 17-3, but you can only chip away. There's no 14-point play out there.
So it'll be second down and 27 out of the Wildcat. Nothing. Gain of 2, and the crowd starts to boo a little bit.
Now, we haven't seen anything from Brian Underwood today, and the wide receiver that had an unbelievable string 2 years ago, caught a touchdown in 8 consecutive games, just shy of the record of Herman Moore. We have not seen, he's an explosive player, haven't seen him catch a football today.
A lot of this crowd went out into the parking lots at halftime for their tailgates, and very few have come back. Days and Brissett in the backfield. Brissett tries to scramble out of there again. He's in trouble. And he throws this one away in time to avoid the sack, but he was going down. Dawson had him in his grasp.
Good job. Edwin Jackson as well in there, Tim, the linebacker, his ability to run and get to the quarterback. But good protection initially. Just float, climb in the pocket, and then things begin to break down, and he throws the football away. So another excellent series of downs for this Georgia Southern defense.
So Will Baldwin will kick it away. Brandon Thomas is only 5'6", 165 pounds. He's your return guy, standing at the 23. This is a spiraling punt. Thomas will go back and get it. He's a little target. Sidesteps one. Breaks another. Still on his feet. Looked like a chicken on a June bug.
On a June bug?
On it. Labor Day. Food, fun, and football.
ACC football is being brought to you by Geico, official corporate champion of the ACC. By PNC Bank. By Ruby Tuesday, official corporate champion of the ACC. And by Toyota, official corporate champion of the ACC.
17-3 is our score here. Georgia Southern leading. PNC Bank. How about that? Let's go downstairs to Rachel. She's got more.
Absolutely. Jarvis Byrd is a guy on this defense that it is the heart and soul. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. He has had 3 knee injuries. Count them, 3, and has come back from all 3. The entire team has taken a lot from him. They say he is their inspirational leader. The coach has even changed his number because he's #1 in their book.
All right, Rachel, the PNC Bank hardest working player, Jarvis Byrd. Inspiration for a lot of folks. Give the ball straight ahead. Carries tacklers. L.A. Ramsey picks up 2, maybe 3. T.Y. McGill, the 290-pounder, makes the stop.
Well, Georgia Southern has really done a really good job at playing at their pace. Coach Fritz has talked about being able to control the game on his side of the line of scrimmage. They really have done that. I think they've stayed in a good situation and a play call situation all day.
And they'll stop this play. There's a flag, and that's going to be against Georgia Southern.
False start. Number 70 on the offense.
The Eagles have been pretty good in this game, though, penalty-wise.
Yeah, I think Coach Raymond Kluge, the right tackle, got a little antsy because NC State really showed late that they were coming with extra pressure. And I think the big right tackle maybe hedged his bet and moved just a little bit too early.
First penalty of the afternoon for Georgia Southern. Very fundamentally sound and disciplined. So it'll be 2nd down and 13. And again, they go up the middle, but there's nothing there. T.Y. McGill is playing a terrific ball game. Makes the tackle. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by YP.com. 4 powerful yellow pages, 1 app, 1 site. YP can do it all.
This has been a good series so far for the defensive front for NC State. They forced Georgia Southern into 3rd and long here.
Devin Scott comes in the ball game for the Eagles. Ellison needs 13 for the first. Throws a little flanker screen, but it's well defended, and Georgia Southern will have to punt.
A really good job by Justin Burris, the corner, because he kind of clogs it up. He really plays off the block outside and allows Hakeem Jones, the safety, to come in and make the tackle. So really good job by the 2 secondary players there to limit that. And a really good series of downs. We talked about Georgia Southern's defense to start the second half. Really good series there for the NC State defense.
Hakeem Jones, one of the best tacklers on the state team, 61 tackles last year, 2nd on the team. Nowicki now will punt it away. Braylon Cherry is standing at his 20. Got a feeling Georgia Southern in a very, very dangerous part of this game right now. Boy, this ball hits like a wedge and just checks up at the 20 perfectly. 50-yard punt. Ryan Nowicki doing a nice job punting the ball. 9:38 to play in the 3rd. Shock and all, Arch called it. so far, it's shocking to the folks at State.
Tom Wormy in the studio with a Hardee's update. Number 7 UCLA at Virginia in the third. Matt Johns in relief, 23 yards to Darius Jennings. His second TD pass, 21-17. Cavs closing the gap.
How about the Wahoos closing that gap, as Tom said, and Mike London has them back in. Very, very sluggish offense for the 5th-ranked team in the country, UCLA.
Well, hey, give Virginia some credit. They've got some people coming back on that defensive side of the football for John Tenuta, and obviously have played extremely well today, limiting what Brett Hundley and that offense has done for UCLA.
Hundley's a Heisman Trophy winner, and most of those points came from defense.
Well, you look at what's gone on for Jacoby Brissett, thrown the ball well from an accuracy standpoint, 20 yards and in, but no shots down the field, no big plays down the field, and really, when you want to try to jar an offense loose, you'd like to try to have an explosive play or two. I mentioned Brian Underwood in the last series of downs. Underwood has not caught a pass yet, and it'll be interesting to see if they try to find a way to get the explosive Underwood the football.
So NC State now takes the ball, first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Here's the give, straight ahead, big hole into the second level. Days picks up more than a handful there. It'll be short of the first, but a big gainer on first down. Give him 8.
Came out of a 2-by-2 set that time. 2 wide receivers on either side of the formation, split wide, try to spread that Georgia Southern defense and hit Hayes straight ahead.
You know,
Days, I'm sorry.
From Torrey Holt and Russell Wilson and Mario Williams and David Amerson, this is a proud program. You expect them to come back. Set in trouble. And that's going to be incomplete. Stepped out of bounds, came back in, and Braylon Cherry gets knocked out of bounds.
Well, he got himself in his own world of hurt here. He fumbles the snap. Ball goes right through his hands. He's going to fake the handoff and didn't watch the ball into his hands, so the fumble or the snap slips right through his hands. Did an excellent job of getting rid of the football. Showed his athleticism there, but created his own problem by not catching the ball from center.
The point I was going to make, Arch, about this program, I mean, they've got a great tradition, but a lot of this roster, they're still introducing themselves to each other. This is one of the youngest teams in the nation. Here they come around the corner. Good gainer by Samuels. Let's go down to Rachel.
Guys, I know Jacoby Brissett is struggling right now, but Dave Dorn has all kinds of belief in this kid. He's known him since his recruiting days at Wisconsin. He's even been in his house, and he remembered that Jacoby's mom made him chicken parm. So he finds himself at Florida. They call him and say, hey, he's available. The first words to Jacoby when he got here was, it was destiny.
He'd like to see that destiny prevail here this afternoon. Second down and 10. This is a looping pass, and it's complete to Samuels, and Samuels is inside the 30. They'll mark it inside the 25 at the 21-yard line.
Well, true freshman Jalen Samuels on the last 2 plays. He got the short yardage play on third down, but they're going to run Samuels on a wheel route down the sideline, and Georgia Southern loses him in coverage. And a good throw by Brissett to put it on Samuels. And there's one of those explosion plays you're looking for. Little play fake. Excellent job up front. Give Brissett time to step in and throw it. That's what they were looking for. They needed an explosive play. They just got one.
A gain of 42 yards, and here comes the pack. Mac Days stays in the ball game. Going to Greenwich over the middle, incomplete. There's going to be a flag. It looked like Nick Wright reached out and maybe grabbed his jersey. It is going to be against the defense. 8:06 to play in the third. 17-3 Georgia Southern, but the Wolfpack is moving.
Defense number 21. 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Love the set. They had 3 receivers left and let Greenwich run right up the seam. And you see the little grab right there. There it is. Reach out, grab the jersey. And just held him up. And wow, you could have probably got away the penalty there. Maybe a late hit on Greenwich after the ball was gone.
For NC State, this is the first trip inside the red zone.
Not very good a year ago on their touchdown percentage.
First and goal at the 6. Play action. Back of the end zone. Touchdown, Wolfpack. Braylon Cherry. A 6-yard strike.
Loved how quickly he saw this. Play fake, he knew he had Cherry, just floats it to him, gave him a little bit more time to see the ball coming his direction. Cherry does an excellent job of tight roping the sideline with the throw, and NC State has their first touchdown of 2014.
Nicholas Sadie for the extra point. It's good.
Now, Tim, when you talk about this drive and how they got there, it was the wheelwright to Jalen Samuels. And then put the ball back in my big quarterback's hands, and he finds Cherry for the touchdown. NC State is back in this game. Here's a local network break.
.802 to play in the third. It's now a 7-point ball game after NC State scored.
Timmy, look at this touchdown. A little bit of confusion in the Georgia Southern's backfield. Cherry's going to come down in motion from the bottom of the screen. Now freeze it here, guys. These two defenders lose who they're responsible for, and Cherry runs right by him. Nobody takes him, and he's wide open in the end zone. Good read by Brissett. Good quick throw, and NC State's right back in the game.
Jacoby Brissett now has 13 completions to 9 different receivers. Let's go downstairs to Rachel.
Guys, we've heard all week about the selflessness of Jacoby Brissett. I just watched him. He stood on the back of the sideline, watched everybody else celebrate, get hyped. He talks to offensive coordinator Matt Canada, puts the phone down, and then walks to every one of his receivers and linemen and says, good job, way to put a big drive together.
Derek Keaton is back on that end line again with Cameron May. Nicholas Sadie gets ready to kick off with 8:02 to play in the third period. This is a high kick taken by Keaton. Keaton looking for a block, not going to get it, but he got across the 20 to the 21-yard line. 17-yard return. Let's go to Tom and Tommy.
Tim, it's a Hardee's update. Third quarter for Wofford and Georgia Tech. Justin Thomas, DeAndre Smelter, 19 yards, 17-9 Georgia Tech. Wofford's added a field goal, 17-12.
Well, Tim, these are two teams that run the exact same offense, so they've been watching that offense all camp long, both those defenses, and it looks like they're playing extremely well. Wofford, the Terriers, giving the Jackets all they want.
Ellison throws a strike. It's complete to Zach Walker. That's a pickup of 8. Good first down play for Georgia Southern.
No, and it really is, Tim. And I think that those little things like that are lost. But Georgia Southern's run the ball pretty well today. And NC State knows that. They're committing resources to the line of scrimmage. Good, nice, easy call, easy throw for Ellison. And you're in a really good situation now. You're second and short.
Ellison split time with Jerick McKinnon in 2013. Replacing McKinnon wasn't easy. McKinnon now with the Vikings. Here they go straight ahead. Breida should have enough for the first. Pick up a 4.
Shifted into that similar set, that little diamond set where they can run all their triple option stuff out of it. And it's a very similar play that Breida scored on. In fact, the very same play, just going the different direction. Breida had the 61-yard touchdown run earlier. This time NC State holds him shorter, but he picks up the first down.
B.J. Johnson and Zach Walker go to the top of the screen. Those are your receivers. Kevin Ellison yells out to him. Van in motion. They go strong right. They roll that way. They look up to the out pattern, and it's wide open. Look out. This is complete to Walker. Walker down inside the 20, and he's knocked out of bounds. A gain of 51 yards. Hakeem Jones finally caught him.
Well, Zach Walker runs a great route. He's right here, and he's going to run, and he's going to little nod and then get to the corner. Ellison's with him all the way. Look, a little nod inside, cleans him up, and then this is something that NC State's had a problem with today. Their tackling has not been the cleanest. Excellent route by Walker, and run after the catch sets up Georgia Southern.
That is Zach Walker's 5th catch of the afternoon. Ellison inside the 10, or the 15 rather. Tackled by Hakeem Jones. That's a gain of 3. Jones having a big afternoon.
We talked about NC State's offense in the red zone. Defensively, they struggled as well. 32 touchdowns, 40 trips in the red zone by the opposition, and they allowed 32 TDs. Obviously not what you're looking for. 80% touchdown percentage.
2nd down and 7. You take a shot here, Archie, to just stay with what they're doing.
I think you keep beating the dead horse. You're doing a good job with it.
This is Ramsby kind of bangs his way down to the 11. It's almost like they're setting up a field goal. Candavius Street made the tackle.
Well, they're in that range now where it's a little difficult to cover, determine what you're going to do. Are you going to come with pressure and commit resources to the line of scrimmage and free up the outside receivers on a one-on-one situation? I think their number one concern is to find number 4 and don't let him break contain.
Rachel L.A. Ramsey just went out. Looks like he's injured. We might get a check on that. 3rd down and 5. Ball on the 12. They roll it right. Cut it inside the 10, the 5, down to the 4. 1st down, Georgia Southern.
Boy, they did a nice job of spreading the NC State defense, declaring what they were going to see, and then they just run option. It's just a lead option play, lead blocker out in front. Ellison sees the crease, and wow, I think our producer Rob Reichley could have run through that.
I doubt it. First and goal at the 4. The Eagles give you some motion. Down inside the 3, close to the 2.
So many little wrinkles off of this offense that Willie Fritz has brought over from Sam Houston State. We've talked about the pistol, but they're in the gun. They've got 3 backs in the backfield. They got 4 receivers in the game. A lot of responsibilities for this NC State defense, and they've got a couple of young kids back there too. That number 4, Gerard Fernandez, the redshirt freshman linebacker, trying to sort things out as they come at you in a lot of different ways.
It'll be 2nd and goal from the 3. Breida in the ball game now. Ellison fakes, looks into the end zone, incomplete. Threw it high. Threw it high and threw it late. It was intended for Dylan Turner.
Really well covered by NC State. Bootleg play. NC State stayed at home, had defenders in the area, and made it a tight throw. Going to get the play fake. And then NC State really did a good job of not biting on it and selling out against the run. And you see a number of red jerseys in the end zone really clouding the look for Ellison.
Big 3rd down play here. It's the 9th play of the drive. This play will determine whether they get 3 or 7.
Well, they'll need to find number 4 on this play.
On the road, you usually need 7. He's not going to get there. Now he gets it down to the 2. Wright makes the tackle. Do you go or do you kick?
No, you kick the field goal here.
It's good call. You're on the road.
Late 3rd quarter, put the points on the board, extend it to a 2-score situation.
Absolutely.
Ellison just going to run the lead option, and a really good job of this NC State defense rising up and getting a stop.
Let's look at some of the players in the Atlantic Coast Conference this year. There are some great ones coming back. Start with the offense, Arch.
Well, Jamison Crowder is the guy that shoots off the page at you. He's closing in on the all-time receiving record. Connor Vernon holds that, one of his former teammates. How about the Duke Johnson back on the field for Miami, coming back off the ankle injury. And you can't forget the guy last year won the Heisman Trophy, Jameis Winston. He's certainly going to be guiding the number 1 team in the country.
No surprise, all those guys preseason all ACC team. Mario Edwards, we talked about him a lot. He is a monster.
Well, a guy that'll be on display for Clemson and for us next week as we see Clemson is Vic Beasley, outstanding pass rusher off the edge.
Consensus All-American. And Denzel Perryman, all ACC first team, led the team with 108 tackles, senior from Coral Gables. That's a talented list of players.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's one of those teams laying in the weeds.
Let's go down to Rachel on Georgia Southern's plan to win.
We talked to Coach Fritz this week about his plan to win, and he told us it involved ball security. Take care of the football. What about the turnover and the takeaway margin? Control the running game. Guys, if you lose the ball or holding it wrong in this offense, doesn't matter who you are, he'll come knock it out. Your SID, the athletic trainer, doesn't matter
It's a good point, but I think what's really going to be big in this ball game is that Georgia Southern has been in the red zone twice, and they came away with only 2 field goals. Let's go back to Charlotte and check in with Tom and Tommy.
Tim, thank you. Time for the Hardee's update. UCLA at Virginia late third. Brett Hundley is going to take it in for the score. 28-17 UCLA has the lead at the start of the fourth quarter. Another game to talk about. Wofford at Georgia Tech in the third. Look at this effort here by DeAndre Smelter.
Great leg strength by the Georgia Tech receiver, and then ran to the end zone for 6 for the Yellow Jackets.
24-12 late in the third. Georgia Tech.
Former baseball player for Georgia Tech, Smelter, making a play there for the Jackets late.
Brissett, great fake, drops into the middle, looks deep, he's got a man. The ball is a little bit underthrown and incomplete, but there is going to be a flag. Georgia Southern will be called again.
Pass interference. Defense number 5. 15 yards. Automatic. First down.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling was wide open. Ball was a little bit underthrown, but it allowed the pass interference.
Yeah, a little razzle-dazzle in the backfield. Fake the ball to Brian Underwood. That's really the first time we've mentioned his name. He's got great speed, and then the throw down the field. And here's Valdez-Scantling. Just blows by the corner on the outside, and the ball, as you said, Tim, underthrown. But they get the penalty.
You that DB, you got to look back. That receiver's eyes go back. You've got to anticipate. Gain of 6 by Shadrack Thornton.
They got a little fool with the play fake in the backfield. Love to start the drive like that. Any quarterback loves that little, maybe a little gadget type play. Fake the ghost, or they have the ghost where you come around and you fake the reverse and try to take a big shot. You love that as a quarterback.
Second down and 4 for the Pack. Thornton again. Close to a first down. Should be a yard short. Edwin Jackson coming up to make the tackle.
Now this is where they've gone in this game to their Wildcat set to pick up these short yardage situations. Let's see if they stay with that. Here's Jackson, the linebacker, outstanding player for Georgia Southern, makes the tackle shy of the first down to force this third and short for NC State.
Keep in mind, NC State was almost a 3-touchdown favorite coming into this ball game. The Eagles defense had 5 starters returning. But Georgia Southern's defense is undersized. We talk about the depth problems. It's hot. And now NC State starting to move the football. Tony Creasy, the ball carrier. Gain of 7.
Went to that Wildcat, Tim, like we talked about, the short yardage play, and they've really had a lot of success with that. Georgia Southern has not been able to stop that in those short yardage scenarios. You kind of sense now that the momentum is shifting here. NC State getting more and more confidence on the offensive side of the ball. And I think Jacoby Brissett really banging some of that rust off down, really starting to settle into the game.
First down, big hole. This is Thornton. And Pack's leading ground gainer picks up 7 more. Again, Edwin Jackson made the tackle.
And Georgia Southern trying to sub some players on the field and had a tough time getting it done. In fact, they didn't get it done.
No, they had too many guys on the field. Hines with a big gainer. Penalty did decline.
Yeah, Georgia Southern was trying to get other players on the field because this group is winded, and it looks like Edwin Jackson's on the ground potentially. Maybe a cramp. But just too many players on the field. NC State playing at their pace, do an excellent job of getting the ball out to Bo Hines, and Hines almost took that one to the house.
The Eagles are tired, Dave. You can see it. They are really tired. Have you downloaded your ACC Football Challenge yet? It's available in Apple and Google Play app stores. ACC Football Challenge lets you compete as your favorite team and challenge other fans across the conference. Just download and start competing today. ACC Gaming app.
Well, we talked about how warm it is down there on the field, and with this sun out and the cloud cover gone, it's even more warm. Even hotter. You see him trying to get some fluids in him. Jackson, obviously, there's well, you can see the temperature on the field. That looks like that thing is sitting in the shade and right around 100 degrees, so it's pretty steamy down there on the field. And Jackson is a guy that they're trying to get some more fluids into, and hopefully the cramp scenario goes away so he can get back on the field. He's a big-time player.
Yeah, he's been running sideline to sideline, former walk-on, but he's going to play at the next level.
Yeah, all of a sudden a cramp hits Jackson right here. See him go down, but it was too late. And they've got too many people on the field anyway. They were trying to get some other players off that were a little winded. And so
yeah, somebody needed to scream for a timeout there before the ball was snapped. Matt Days comes in on 1st down and 10 from the 18. Brissett rolls right, has time, tucks it away. He'll be inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds at about the 9.
Interesting decision.
Knocked him out.
Interesting decision right there. He had his tight end hooking over the ball and decides to turn down the throw, turn down that throw in the flat, turn down the throw over the middle, had some running room, and the big quarterback pulled it down and picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, I think he's starting to have some fun now, Arch.
I think he's just short of the 1st down. He marked him just short. But yeah, he really looks, he never looks like he's overly anxious, but he looks like he's settled into the game.
Patrick Flo comes into the ball game. He's playing for Edwin Jackson. Thornton, the setback behind Brissett. And the throw got away from him a little bit. Sweaty hands, slippery ball.
Let's see if they go back here. It's 3rd and short again. And will they use their wildcat set? Here comes Creasy, who's kind of been that wildcat running back, checking into the game.
3rd down and about 1.
If you're Georgia Southern, you kind of expect this here.
I'm telling you, I'm big old Jay Ellison. I'm going to try to disrupt things in a hurry. He's 305 pounds. There's the middle. There's the disruption. Did he make it? I don't think so. Ellison got penetration. Antoine Williams made the tackle.
Good call, Tim, on the defensive front swelling up. And NC State or Georgia Southern's not fooled. They pinched down to the inside with the defenders, and really there was no running room. NC State tried to spread them with a 2-by-2 set, 2 receivers outside either side, and Georgia Southern didn't buy it.
They take Ellison out of the game now on 4th and short. So the big hole clogger is out of the middle. The crowd wants them to go for it, and it looks like they will. But that'll end the 3rd quarter. It's hot and the game is good. Labor Day weekend. And right now, as we head to the final 15 minutes, it's 20-10. Georgia Southern. Can they hold on, or will the Pack be back? NC State trails Georgia Southern by 10 as we start the 4th quarter, but Georgia Southern now being outgained in the 3rd quarter, 141-83. So the momentum, as you said, Dave Archer, has now changed.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett's yards per attempt, which is something the coaches look at, was 4 yards in the 1st quarter, which is not very good. 1st half, which is not very good. 2nd half now up over 6.5 yards an attempt. So it's going in the right direction. They're making some plays. They are 4th and short, Tim, and I don't think there's any doubt in Coach Doran's mind. He's going to put his team on the field, go for it. Georgia Southern's big-time linebacker Edwin Jackson back on the field as well. Remember, he had the cramps, had to leave for a couple of plays. He's back in.
Goal line defense. Shadrach Thornton is the runner, the Wildcat. He's going to be close to the 1st. I do not think he made it, depending on the mark.
Well, Southern expected the call of the Wildcat play, and the defense feels like they're short, and that Ron Cherry agrees.
Antoine Williams made the tackle along with Glover. The defensive front got penetration. Thornton never got momentum.
Boy, penetration is the key. You're exactly right. See how there was a number of white shirts on NC State's side of the line of scrimmage. It really only gave Shadrach Thornton one place to go with the football, and there were a couple of Eagles waiting for him when he got there.
Wow, how about that? .56 to play, and that is a major turning point here in stopping the momentum that NC State had garnered. 9 plays, 66 yards, and the Wolfpack comes away empty. 1st down, give it to Breida. Breida has a big hole, and he's out across the 20. That's a 1st down, move the chains.
Boy, just got him by the shoestrings. This is the one he took to the house earlier in the game, 61 yards, and he is an eyelash, a shoestring from going 90 plus with this one. Just barely got him down. He's got great speed.
March, I would think if you're Georgia Southern now, you're in absolutely no hurry. Start melting the clock.
Yeah, and I think, but you can't get so caught up in the clock right now that you don't play your game. But I would agree with you. Continue to do what you've been doing.
Hold on to the football. Spinning across the 22-yard line goes Matt Breida, who's had a nice game. Mike Rose makes the tackle after just one.
You know, the good job again by NC State's defensive line. We talked about how good and physical this team plays up front. Nice job there in corralling Breida with great speed. Really important here for NC State's defense to not get caught up in the emotion of that last drive coming up with nothing. They need to find a way to get a stop and provide maybe a short field opportunity for their offense.
Ellison had trouble with the snap again. Throws deep, has a man. It's complete. Defenders never look back. The ball was floating. Monte Crockett makes the catch and carries it down to the 42-yard line. That is a gain of 36 yards on a floating pass.
Now, when you run the ball successfully, as Georgia Southern's done it, they're going to get some shots down the field, some open receivers. And had Ellison thrown a better ball here, this is probably a touchdown for Georgia Southern. Crockett was wide open. Gravius Wright was able to scramble back and make the tackle, but he had a chance for a huge play.
Arius Moore, the nickelback, never looked back. He's a true freshman. Here's the ball carrier. It's Ellison around the corner. He's got another first down or close to it, depending on the mark. Stopped by Hakeem Jones again, who will be some kind of sore tonight. Jones has been all over the field, but that's a pickup of 10, and they have a first down.
Well, he's made some really good decisions, and I'm talking about Kevin Ellison in this option attack. He's really done a good job of deciding where the ball goes.
Ramsby rather.
That's the second.
Loses a couple.
Yeah, that's the second bobbled snap by Ellison in this drive. This one hits him up around the face mask, and he's lucky that he had one of his own players dive on the ball. This is going to be a turnover.
Well, Hale Southern, they're playing well and still lead 20-10. It's that Eagle Creek water they've been drinking down there. Ramsey's in the game now. Second down to 12. Ellison looking to the outside. Well defended out there. Boy, that was nicely done on the corner.
Yeah, Tocho, the corner, does a good job, Tim, and really the ball's late. Okay, you throw a comeback. You can't throw outside the numbers late. This one, he kind of waits, and now he's going to throw it out there. Well, you better have a big-time arm if you're going to make that throw. And he's lucky that Tocho didn't swipe that one. Tocho was sitting on the route, on the comeback route, and really made a nice play on it.
So to bring up third down and 12, they're only 5 of 11 on third down conversions this afternoon. This is a big third down. They want to make sure they get down in field goal range at the very least. Ellison steps up, throws a dart, has it complete. Inside the 10 to the 5 to the 4 goes Kentrella Showers.
Again, that slot receiver is doing a great job of getting free in this man coverage. This time working against Josh Jones. Number 2, see the little fake to the outside, and then back to the inside goes Showers. Very similar move he made on the touchdown throw when Ellison hit him in the end zone. So Showers having his way with the NC State defensive backs in that slot area.
Scouting report on Ellison coming in. He's an elite runner. Passer unknown. He split time with Jerick McKinnon last year, but he's been some kind of shark today. Down close to the goal line. They'll mark it inside the 1 goes Matt Breida. Wow. How about this?
Well, you see so often that a play on one side of the ball energizes the other side of the ball, Tim, and the defense came up with a monster stop on 4th and short, deep in their own territory, and here comes this offense. Here's the signals coming in from the sideline. There's Irk Russell on the side, the great coach from Georgia Southern.
Father of Georgia Southern football, and again the snap. They don't take many from under the center, and that one was dropped. Who got it?
Monty Nelson came out of there with the football for NC State.
They're going to say it's Georgia Southern football.
Yeah, Dave Dorn wants an explanation on that. How did my guy come out of the pile if Georgia Southern recovered the football?
It'll bring up third down.
The officials are going to meet on it. And there it is.
They gave it to NC State.
Now, Monty Nelson, 94, is going to come out of the pile. We know the snap was fumbled. Now it's that off-season training, if you will, Tim. Who's the strongest under the pile and who emerges with the football? And there's Monty Nelson, 94, exiting the screen. He's got the ball. Boy, wow. What a huge turnover.
Wow.
By Georgia Southern.
That could have been game, set, match.
Well, now you take a deep breath. If you're NC State, you just made a play yourself on defense, maybe a gift, whatever you want to call it. But when you look up at the scoreboard, it's the same score it was. They did not score. So now you take a deep breath and get back to your game plan. Maybe play action, take a shot here.
Instead of a 17-point lead, it's now 10, and it's manageable for the Wolfpack. Bang it out to the 5. Boy, 10-play drive, 90 yards, and they come away with nothing. Jay Ellison makes another tackle. He's the guy with NFL potential, very athletic up there in the middle. Front four, of course, had to replace 3 starters, but Battle and Ellison have been playing well today. 2nd down and 6. And they get out to the 6. Tony Creasy.
Well, it's really the onus is on the offense here. Obviously, Tim, they need to get a first down because you need to do something from a field position standpoint. Now you're closing down the 10-minute mark, 4th quarter, so time starting to get away from you a little bit. But you certainly don't want to punt out of your own end zone and give Kelvin Ellison and that Georgia Southern offense the football at midfield.
Wolfpack 4 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. They need 5. Ball in the 6. Jacoby Brissett rolls right, has some trouble, gets around the corner and can pick up a first down, and he does. Nice job by the redshirt junior, Jacoby Brissett.
Well, he just barely got it. Deshante Gallion was chasing him down. Number 27 is in a seek and destroy mode from the linebacker spot. He's going to come in and lay the big lick right there, but Brissett's big body gets him just enough forward momentum to get the first down.
And the big junior from West Palm Beach in control with 9:35 to play in this ball game. Creasy gets outside. It's Thornton, rather. Thornton with a first down. Thornton still on his feet up to the 39-yard line. Shadrack Thornton finally stopped by Edwin Jackson.
I love the call. Little decoy play to the left side with Days. They thrown the screen earlier in the game to Days with 2 receivers. This time they give it off to Thornton. See him, watch him fake the screen left, but Thornton's out the other side of the football.
He's big time, isn't he? Brissett throws, has it complete at the 41. NC State picking it up. The mojo has changed. Cherry makes the tackle and another first.
Boy, and I think Edwin Jackson this time is really banged up. He's down at about the 30-yard line. He tried to lay a lick on the quarterback, and he looked like he was having a tough time getting up. Looked a little shaky trying to get to his feet. You can see he's a little wobbly. They're going to need to come and get him. He's going to come in, number 40 coming in, and he hits Brissett down low. I think he knocked himself a little woozy there.
You know, coaches always tell you, leave it all on the field. I think his tank is empty right now.
Now the fans here booing, obviously, because they feel like their offense playing with pace. But you always got to guard against the guy, you know, being hurt. And this is a guy that kind of the heart and soul of their defense. They don't want him on the sideline. So obviously this is a guy that's banged up. 12 tackles today for Edwin Jackson. We talked about right off the top, this guy's a big time player. He's certainly shown that today.
Show your pack line. Take the lift here this play. And I play, and I'll be behind you.
While there's timeout, let's take a look at our Haviland defensive shield. We've seen 2 big stops. A 4th down stop by Georgia Southern. And NC State getting the turnover at the goal line.
The previous play is being reviewed.
And you look at the defense's points allowed from a year ago. No surprise, Florida State national champion. How about Louisville? Louisville comes online this year in the ACC. Big game on Monday night against Miami, number 2 in the country, and points given up.
It's amazing when you give up only 12 points a game.
ACC football is brought to you by Toyota, official corporate champion of the ACC. By Geico, official corporate champion of the ACC. By AT&T, official sponsor of the ACC. And by Ruby Tuesday, official corporate champion of the ACC.
The strength of the Wolf is the pack, and that's what they're trying to do here in the fourth quarter. The Wolfpack staying together, trying to make a comeback, 20-10. However, during that break, they reviewed this play, Arch, and said he did not have control.
Didn't catch the football, a little bobble there, and overturned. So 2nd and 10 now for NC State back at their 39.
Defense coordinator Jack Curtis out on the field, cheering his guys on after that ball was turned over. He's a holdover from the Monken staff. Burke Russell used to say, "Gotta get after them aggressively," and that's what they're doing here today. They've got that on their helmets, GATA. Get after them aggressively. Or get after their you-know-whats. 2nd down and 10. Thornton again, right side. Stays on his feet, breaks 2 tackles, and is out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 5.
Well, Thornton really running hard. He's the biggest of the backs when you start talking about 6'1", 210, and he's running with some ferocity. 3rd and medium now. Huge play right here for NC State on offense to stay on the field.
Thornton 10 carries, 73 yards. Bo Hines and Valdez-Scantling go to the top of the screen. Hines comes this side. Jacoby Brissett throws underneath. That'll be a 1st down inside the 45-yard line. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Gain of 12.
Well, good job of protection up front, but Valdez-Scantling is just going to run the shallow drag. Coverage drops off. He's there. Brissett on the money with the throw. Good run up the catch. 1st down. So good read and throw.
Brissett throws underneath again. They're just taking it little bit by bit. No panic. Matt Days has the catch after a pickup of 9.
Yeah, good recognition on that short side of the field by Brissett. He had Days in the slot. Days ran the quick trick out route. Easy throw, easy catch.
Brissett again to the outside. Hines has a 1st down.
Tim, just soft coverage on the outside, and he's taking advantage of it. 2 throws back to back, soft coverage. Look, no defender in the area. Just throw it to Hines. Hines runs a little option route, just runs up about 6 and curls up. Brissett on the money.
Brissett rolls, throws again, has a completion inside the 20. They'll mark it out of bounds. Actually, I think they get a break on the mark to put it at the 14-yard line.
Another one of the freshmen that reported early. Signed, came in the spring. Bo Hines, freshman, catches the ball in the flat, extends the drive.
Now they correct the mark. Yeah, there's no question he stepped out of bounds at about the 17. So they'll move that ball back. They've got to readjust the 1st down markers, and the crowd doesn't like it, but that's the correct call. Greenwich and Cherry go out. Trips to the right side. They throw out there. Hines down to the 9. Mark it at the 10.
Again, playing with some good pace. Brissett settled into the pace, and now another player down for Southern. Georgia Southern. Look what they've done in the red zone. Of course, the big stop the last time North Carolina State came down here was a huge play for Georgia Southern.
11th play of the drive coming up. Closed captioning for ACC football. It's brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. Cramps now becoming a big factor in this ball game. If you're just joining us, Georgia Southern has gone from the FCS and stepped up to the FBS. Their last game last year, Georgia Southern upset Florida down in the swamp in Gainesville, beat the Gators. They come in here now as an FBS team, but because of that jump up in competition, they don't have the full allotment of 85 scholarships. They have to build up to that. So they only have 77 scholarships by design. They gave some of those scholarships to walk-ons, but consequently they don't have as much depth.
Yeah, it shows up in these, certainly in these series where they're one side of the ball's on the field like this.
Brissett drops, throws, touchdown NC State. Braylon Cherry was wide open.
Well, mix up in coverage in the secondary, and it's just it's a nice little wrinkle. Watch the receivers cross. Cherry going to come underneath. No one goes with him. Just easy throw, easy read. Here's what you're going to get, that cross at the top of your screen. Not sure what Darius Jones, the corner, was thinking there. He was playing zone, and the slot defender was playing man coverage, and it's an easy touchdown for NC State.
So Nicholas Sadie comes on to attempt the extra point, and it's good. This drive went 99 yards after they recovered a fumble at the 1. 6:55 remain in the ball game. It's 20-17 as the Pack is coming back.
The all-new ACC mobile app. It's free and packed with even more features. Standings and stats, headlines, video, and live games. All 15 schools. Update your app or download it today on your iPhone, iPad, or Android. The new ACC mobile app, presented by Carrabba's.
Well, Braylon Cherry with the touchdown, his second of the day. 12 plays, 99 yards. Took just over 4 minutes after they recovered that fumble by Georgia Southern on the 1-yard line.
Jacoby Brissett showed a tremendous amount of patience in the drive, getting the ball out to guys. 6 of 7 in the drive, 56 yards, but really did a nice job of just finding that guy in the zone coverage and getting the football quickly and allowing them to extend the drive, move the chains.
Derek Keaton goes back to help return it. Cameron May also for Georgia Southern. Be an interesting final 6:55 of this game. Sadie's kick takes him about 5 yards deep, and they'll down it there. So Keaton very wisely downs it. Well, UCLA has struggled offensively today in Charlottesville. Let's go back to Tom and Tommy for an update.
Tim, time for a Hardee's update. UCLA and Virginia, and the Cavs trying to drive to get back into this one and try to tie it up. 4th down fails, 28-20, inside of 2 minutes to go. Wofford at Georgia Tech in Atlanta in the 4th. Zach Lasky, second TD of the game, set up by a Justin Thomas to Broderick Snoddy. 65-yard pass, 31-19, Georgia Tech.
All right, Tommy, thanks. That'll help Mike London and the Virginia Cavaliers, regardless of the outcome, W or L. That's the 7th-ranked team in the country they're taking down to the wire. Ellison keeps it, sidesteps one, can't get by the linebacker. It's only a pickup of 1. Time now becomes a factor.
What a great tackle in the open field that time by Hakeem Jones. He doesn't make this tackle. Ellison is off and running. He's on the backside. He's got responsibilities on the quarterback. He's up around the line of scrimmage, and we've seen him make a number of plays today, and that was a big one right there.
You know, Dave, he's getting close to double-digit tackles today. He was second leading tackler last year. And you're right, he has been active. Scott and Breida both in the ballgame now for Georgia Southern on 2nd and 9. They used a lot of the play clock that time. Ellison breaks one tackle into the second level. He's got speed. Look out. Legs are tired, but still gets it all the way to the 21-yard line before Toju can chase him down from behind. Ellison got winded, but what a great play, great read, and explosion for 52 yards.
Yeah, he's been so good in making decisions in the option game, and Ellison's still down, looking up at that right shoulder. But here's the option. They pin the inside right there, and now he's just going to option the safety right here. Safety's going to take the pitch man. There's nobody for the quarterback. And Ellison takes off. He's made so many good decisions, but the problem is that right at the back end of this, Tocho's going to fall right on the shoulder. And I think that's the problem right now for Ellison. He's been so good today. Watch it. The 2 bodies are going to come down. It looked like maybe got that right shoulder pinned underneath him a little bit.
The backup is Fabian Upshaw, the young sophomore from Titusville, Florida. He's one of the fastest guys on the team and did get some first half snaps, but This is not that point in the ball game you want to put a young sophomore who's inexperienced into the ball game, but they're going to have to do it. You know, earlier in the ball game, we talked about the 6 national titles by Georgia Southern, one of the best programs in the entire country. 85, of course, the greatest comeback in FCS history, 22 points behind Furman. Irk Russell, the guy. You had Tracy Ham, Irk Russell, Raymond Gross in the 1990s. 146 yards rushing to beat Nevada and Chris Ault. Adrian Peterson, huh?
Yeah, big-time runner right there.
And then in 2000, Paul Johnson, second straight title.
Yeah, Irk Russell won 3, Paul won 2. I mean, it's been a tremendous tradition at Georgia Southern of being a powerhouse at the FCS level. Now, obviously in the Sun Belt Conference, they want to push that to the next level, and they've been all that today.
They're not letting him move that right arm as they take him off. Ellison leaves with 20 carries, 116 yards today. So Fabian Upshaw gets the call. The young sophomore in a pressure situation. Breida and Scott are the 2 backs. High snap. Breida stumbled as he went toward the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's a big moment for NC State's defense here, Tim. Now, obviously you gave up the explosion play there to Ellison. Now you got to hunker down and you got to limit Georgia Southern to a field goal opportunity, because as the time begins to tick away, you can get yourself out of the game. This Upshaw kid, let's see if he can make the same decisions that Ellison has, because there's a lot of decision making within the option game. He's a youngster that hasn't played very much.
Second down, they need 11. Again, the pack closes down on Matt Breida.
Well, the ball popped out as well. I heard Rachel Barbeau talking about ball security and Coach Fritz and what it means to him. Breida going to take a big shot at the back end. It looked like the ball rolled out, and then Kluge, the big tackle, fell on it.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Georgia Southern.
Let's see if they let Upshaw throw it. I would think you might not let the young guy throw it here. He hadn't thrown a pass, certainly in this game, hadn't played very much.
Play clock at 6. Play clock at 2. And he's got a big hole and does not get the first down. It was a saving tackle again by Hakeem Jones.
Boy, this is a spectacular tackle, because this is maybe the fastest guy on the field. Good blocking up front, double team on the nose, get good blocking by the fullback up on the linebacker, but Hakeem Jones with maybe a game-saving tackle right there.
Upshaw's got 4.3 speed, but they're going to go for it on 4th down and 2. Out of the shotgun, that 2 becomes a lot longer.
Coach Fritz, I think, is going to burn a timeout. Let's see if he works the clock here and burns a timeout. I think he's going to.
Clock down to 3, 2, 1, timeout. Should be 1 left on the clock, so yeah, he gets the timeout.
I think he wanted to come to the line of scrimmage, maybe see if NC State was a little antsy. They jump offside, get a free first down. Now he'll have to figure out what he wants to do here.
So 3:38 remaining, 3-point game. We'll be back. So Georgia Southern trying to hold on here. You see the time remaining in the ball game. Georgia Southern now faced with a 4th and 2 at the 14-yard line.
Yeah,
will they go for it, Arch?
It's a long 2, Tim. It looks like they're going to try to seal. They're not going to try to seal it. Hanks is actually on the field. They're going to kick the extra. Try to kick the field goal here.
So if he makes this, it'll give them a 6-point lead. They still lose to the touchdown if they can't stop NC State.
Well, Alex has been very good today.
This is from 31 yards. Good snap, good hold. It's got the distance, and it's good. So Alex Hanks is very good, and they may have found the replacement. Adrian Mora was one of the best in the nation at Georgia Southern a couple of years back. They haven't been able to get there in the kicking game. He's there now. We'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. watching the ACC Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Also streaming live now on the ACC.com and on the official ACC mobile app. 175 affiliates in 38 states this season as we take you all across the country and bring you the Atlantic Coast Conference. 23-17 is our score here. 3:35 to play. This has been Georgia Southern all the way, but NC State now has plenty of time and a chance to win this game.
Yeah, Kevin Ellison has been spectacular today, throwing and running the football. Over 100 yards rushing today. Jacoby Brissett has gotten better as we thought he would throughout the game. He's been very good here lately, and he's going to have a chance to weave maybe some magic here and create his legend at NC State. They need a touchdown and an extra point to potentially win this thing.
Alex Hanks just hit that 31-yard field goal. 5 kickoffs today, no returns. This is days that he won't make a return either. So 6 for 6 today with the kickoffs being left in the end zone.
Well, we talked about how Brissett has gotten better as the game has gone along, and that's certainly been the case. I think he's gotten more and more comfortable. Remember, this kid had not played in a game since November 17, 2012. That's a long time to go without game action. You can do scrimmages and spring games and all that kind of stuff, but until you see a different colored helmet over there, you don't know really what you're going to do. And I think Dave Dorn's got to be pleased with the way his quarterbacks come on, but they need to come on right here. They've had 2 good touchdown drives in the last 3 drives, but they need another one.
Well, he's 20 of 31 today for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He has 3:34 to work. There's another completion. It'll be close to a first down, just about 1.5 yards short. Greenidge with another tackle and another man down for Georgia Southern. Crowd doesn't like it. They think it's taken NC State out of their tempo, and out of their rhythm. But I have to be honest with you, guys shaking up, and especially on a day like this with cramps, you got to be careful.
Well, and yeah, Deion Stanley is one of their one of their top players. He's their leading interceptor from a year ago. He's not going to lay on the ground to come out of the game. They need him in the game. So a little ridiculous to think that some of this is, or all of this is guys just laying on the field.
Brissett 7 of 8 his last 2 drives. Drops to throw again. Does. Has the completion. That's a first down to Matt Days. So the clock stops with 3:10 to play as they move the chains.
Now Georgia Southern just playing a soft 2-deep zone coverage, and they're giving away those little zone throws, and Brissett's been patient.
Throws the out. Boy, that was a dangerous pass, but it was right on the money. Right between the 8 and the 2 at Bo Hines, and a pickup of 9.
Very similar throw he made in the last series of downs. Hines is the slot receiver, just hooks up between the corner and the nickelback.
Hines now has 5 catches. Make it 6. Here he is again. To the 45-yard line.
Pace of play caught Georgia Southern. They were trying to sub a player in. They're going to get caught with too many players on the field here.
Williams and Glover made the tackle. Good officiating crew here today.
Illegal substitution. Defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Ron Cherry, the referee. National championship exposure and doing a nice job here on a hot day. Clock continues to move down to 2:42, 41-40.
See if Southern can find a way to. They may need somebody in this zone to cheat and jump a route to create a turnover, because Brissett is really doing a nice job of reading what's going on.
Underwood and Hines go to the top of the screen. With time, steps up in the pocket, throws incomplete. NC State wants a flag. Nick Wright looked like he got there just as Valdez-Scantling made the catch. Or at least touched it.
Yeah, I thought it was really good coverage. I thought that Nick Wright was right there. Does a good job in the bump and run, and as the ball gets there, uses the right hand and swats it out of there. I thought that's outstanding coverage by Nick Wright.
That ball's complete at the 43-yard line. Mark it at the 41.
Really like the way Jacoby Brissett is distributing the football here. A lot of patience, taking what's given in these zone looks. Done an outstanding job.
NC State with all 3 timeouts remaining. Again, they throw underneath down to the 35-yard line. This is Matt Days with a catch.
It's a tough matchup because Edwin Jackson is the zone linebacker that side, but he's got to stay inside in case the quarterback takes off with the ball. He can't uncover completely to get out on the slot.
Georgia Southern very conscious not to let anybody behind them, but they're leaving the underneath stuff open. Hines makes another grab. That's a pickup of 5, so they're getting it in chunks.
Yeah, just trying to put plays together. How about this 4 receiver set down here?
Georgia Southern was not back to the line of scrimmage yet, so they called a timeout.
The timeout occurred prior to the
That's a good
snap.
timeout. I think his
This
team,
is a 30-second
Coach Fritz's team, is
timeout.
winded. Good pace, great pace by the Wolfpack. And that was a set they had not seen. They had not seen that 4-by-none set that NC State threw at them. So a good timeout there for Georgia Southern.
The officials letting them keep that hurry-up pace, and the momentum has definitely changed here in the second half. Crowd's back into it. The people that are left that stayed. Team seems jacked up. With the body language on the other side with Georgia Southern, they are gassed.
Yeah, there's only 1:43 left. Timmy, you played that side of the football. What do you do in this situation now when you know you've got not much left in the tank, but the game's in the balance?
I'd bring a little pressure on him. He's too comfortable back there. Somehow you've got to get him out of your rhythm. He's in his rhythm. He's throwing on time, and he's way too comfortable. Question is, if you don't get to him, can they cover in the back?
Yeah. Well, not much time left now, and I'm sure that was some of what Willie Fritz said. Hey, look, guys, if I told you it was going to be 23-17 with 1:43 left, could you find a little bit more energy to play defense? And I would be willing to bet you that all these Southern players would say yes.
That's a live ball. No. There's a flag down. This will be a penalty, I believe.
False start, offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Number 86, it's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I got to tell you, that's a break for NC State because Jacoby Brissett was not even looking for the ball.
No, that ball went right by him. He was still yelling instructions, and Greenwich, the tight end, moved. Boy, how about those numbers the last 2 drives for Brissett? And really, it's just taking what the defense is giving him. He's doing a really good job of distributing the ball.
Second down and 10. Again, he has all day to throw and wide open. Still waiting for a signal. Touchdown, NC State. Matt Days. We're tied at 23. 35-yard strike. Jacoby Brissett to Matt Days.
Days is lined up in the backfield, just kind of slow plays it like he's going to lead block on the jet sweep and then goes right down the sideline. And Georgia Southern has nobody pick him up. And watch the effort at the end. Get the ball just inside the pylon, break the plane. They're going to take a look at it, but I think Days be credited with a touchdown. Excellent effort by Matt Days.
We just talked about it. If you watch the defensive line, they're just catching now. They're just waiting. And that is a touchdown.
Yep. Yeah, extended the ball inside the pylon. Hustle effort there by Darius Jones to try to get him out of bounds, but it looked like he held on, and that's another thing. Does he hold on to the football after contact? The ball's not coming loose. It looks like the ball's in his hand, so he's got control of the football.
Only question would be, did his foot touch the line before he went airborne? And there is not a good view of it. There has to be indisputable video evidence. That's a touchdown.
Well, I love the call, too. Just a really nice call by Matt Canada. Just Days in the back. Days is lined up here in the backfield. He's going to kind of come out slow, and then all of a sudden he goes down the sideline. He looks like he's going to lead block on that jet sweep. They fake the handoff, and nobody picks Days up in the coverage. And then he breaks the plane in the end zone right there at the end of the play. So excellent play by the sophomore runner. Boy, he likes opening days. We came here last year. He had 3 touchdowns rushing against Louisiana Tech. So Matt Days loves that opening day game.
.137 remaining in the ball game. NC State has not led all day. They're trying to grab their first lead right now. Here's Ron Cherry.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Well, now, of course, the all-important extra point attempt. You got a veteran kicker and Sadie coming in to try to put
NC State ahead. Don't forget on the Georgia Southern sideline, good chance Ellison can't go. So backup quarterback Fabian Upshaw is going to have to try to guide this team back into field goal range.
Scott Thompson, All-American, is the center. Good snap, good hold. Sadie. It's good. NC State has the lead. Let's go over to the Wolfpack Radio with Gary Hahn.
As Brissett fakes the rocket sweep, he's going to throw down the right sideline. Open is Days. He's got it 5-yard line. Dives for the end zone. Did he make it in? The officials are trying to talk it over. Touchdown. Touchdown State. The game is tied.
Gary Hahn with the call on the Wolfpack Radio. And it's 24-23. NC State, their first lead of the game. Let's go down to Rachel.
Guys, they had some tough losses, NC State did last year, and Coach Doran told us about those scars. He didn't want his team to forget the scars from last year. But I tell you what, guys, after that touchdown and then the kick to go ahead, this team, they cheered like nobody's business. You could see them come alive. You could see them shake off some of those scars and those cobwebs from last year.
Well, it's really neat that they're having that moment, Rachel, but the game still is in the balance now. This is a Georgia Southern team that this isn't their first rodeo in a big game, and there's going to be a group that's going to come back out on the field that thinks if they can get in field goal range, they can win the game as well. So that defense is going to have to get back and get grounded and execute their defensive side.
May and Keaton, and this ball is going to go way deep.
Now who will answer the call? Is it Upshaw at quarterback, or does Ellison? As Ellison, looks like Kevin Ellison is going to get the call, the sophomore. Kevin spectacular today, Tim.
Kevin Ellison, the leading ground gainer today with Georgia Southern. Keep in mind, this is a team with 6 national championships at the FCS level. Georgia Southern, their final game last year was the upset win over the Florida Gators in the Swamp down in Gainesville. For NC State, they are now 137 away from their first win since last September. First down, Eagles. Frida, not much.
Only one timeout left for Georgia Southern. And so that takes a long time to get relined up here. I think NC State's biggest concern will be the quarterback running with the ball after the play breaks down a little bit. He's going to have to throw the ball now.
Throws the out pattern, almost intercepted. Oh, Justin Burris got a good break on it. He had B.J. Johnson blanketed.
Well, this is where if you haven't thrown the ball a ton as a quarterback, and Ellison has not. Now, he's been very good, that you've got to remember that the first down stops the clock. It's okay to throw the ball over the middle of the field. There's a lot more room in the middle of the field than there is outside the numbers.
And think quarterback draw if you're playing defense. Here he goes. Can't get out. 3rd down and 7 brings us to 4th down.
Now, and the 2 guys you'd expect to be in on the play defensively, Art Norman and T.Y. McGill, are going to provide the pressure. 95 and 75 are going to pull back in as Ellison tries to climb in the pocket. Those 2 big guys get after him. So last chance here potentially for Georgia Southern.
Here's the ball game. 67 seconds remain. NC State chomping at the bit, looking for their first win since last September. With time, over the middle, and caught and dropped. Dropped when he hit the ground, incomplete. B.J. Johnson could not hold on.
Went after a big-time corner, and Justin Burris, good tight coverage. And boy, B.J. Johnson almost makes a big-time grab. Ellison climbs in the pocket, throws the ball a little behind. And how about the guy that comes in to make the hit late that I think got the ball out? I believe that was Jarius Byrd, number 1. The senior, the graduate student with 3 torn ACLs, is the guy that comes in and lays the lick that gets the ball out. How about that? Jarius Byrd with a big play for his team.
Jarvis Byrd went from number 9 to number 1 because Coach Doran wanted him to be the leader of this team.
Thank you for correcting me. Jarvis Byrd, unbelievable play there. And you know what? This Georgia Southern team is going to fall short. But FBS level, beware. Georgia Southern has just taken that tradition and moved it to the next level. They're a big-time team. They're going to make life difficult for a lot of players, or a lot of teams.
Georgia Southern out of timeouts as they take their final one. Just hoping for a bad snap perhaps on the clock play, the kneel down play.
You know, so impressed with Willie Fritz's team, their ability to tackle, the way they, not odd at all. We didn't expect them to be because of what we talked about they did at Florida last year. But just what an excellent job of having his team ready to play today.
Next Saturday, another interesting game. South Carolina State at number 16 Clemson in Death Valley.
Huge moment here for NC State to be able to come back in this game, really down the whole game. Dave Doran, this is, you got to go through some tough times. You got to sometimes you got to claw and fight to get a win. That's really what Dave Doran's about. He's that blue collar guy. Roll your sleeves up, go to work, fight for every inch, and his team certainly did that today.
Well, Georgia Southern moves on. Next Saturday, they've got their home opener against Savannah State. The Night of Champions. It's Military Appreciation Day, and certainly Georgia Southern had that military attitude here today and led the entire ball game until 1:37 left when they relinquished the lead. Play clock down to 9-8. Jacoby Brissett, who played a marvelous game today, melts the clock, and that'll be it. So for Georgia Southern, a confidence builder as they move up to the FBS, but a heartbreaker. And for NC State, it may be a program maker. After 8 straight losses to end the season last year, Dave Doran starts this year with a come-from-behind win. Well, you have been watching coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football on the Atlantic Coast Conference Network, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports. Once again, the final score, NC State 24, Georgia South 23. Georgia Southern, they come up by a point short.